Hello, everybody, and welcome to unMadeGaming. It is Wednesday, and that means we are back for 6&20 Metropolis. And with me here is our lovely cast and crew of the best team in 6&20, Team Lazarus. So let's go around and introduce our the greatest investigators the world has ever known. Starting with Greg. Greg, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and who are you playing today?
My name is Greg. I'm Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. Tonight I will be playing one Gephardt Caparelli, inventor. All-around good guy. And I guess he just wants to be loved.
That's true.
Call bullshit.
That's true. 6&20
I'm going
Dad.
silent. I'm going silent for the next 3 hours, everybody. So I will be signing the rest of this fucking podcast or whatever the hell we're doing today. Let's go.
It's hashtag 6&20 Dad. Guys, make that trend on Twitter. We'll jump over to Miss Ninja Ninja, who looks clearly prepared for this question. So, who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing tonight?
So I'm Xmas Ginger Ninja. I run a gaming and somewhat tabletop stream. But I am excited to get back and play some more Flora. She's, in the bars trying to make friends of all these strangers, as she does, because she's so nice and warm and, personable.
Mm-hmm.
But it should be interesting.
Sweet. I'm all about it. I'm all about the cakes and the candies she brings and the cuddles and the fun, nice things.
Have you met Nice Time Flora?
What?
Have you met Nice Time Flora?
She's fine.
Time Flora?
She's fine.
Okay.
I don't see much difference between the two of them. We'll jump over to Sam, who's clearly not wearing the proper outfit for this stream because he's a smelly, smelly boy. Sam, who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing today?
I'm Sam, Wizened Fool on Twitch, the Wizened Fool on Twitter. That's true. That's why I'm not wearing the gi, because it's not good. I'm playing JP today. We saw a lot of range of emotion from JP last week. So we'll see what happens this time. We'll see if I get beat up by anyone else.
Yeah, I want to see a range of punches from JP. It's going to be awesome. And last but definitely least, Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you? And what happened previously on 6&20 Metropolis? Best team ever, Team Lazarus.
Do you want me to do the intro before you do the announcements, or do you want to do announcements first and then we can do the intro?
Nah, fine. Guys, we're doing a giveaway right now with Son of Oak, the people who made City of Mist. If you type exclamation point giveaway in chat right now, you guys can get taken away to that giveaway. Do all of the likes, retweets, all that fun stuff, and enter for your chance to win a free copy of the hardcover book, which is a massive tome of 500 and some odd pages of full comic book style art, which is pretty dope. But if you don't win, do not fear. You can still get a chance to win to buy this. If you go to cityofmist.co.uk/store, you guys can enter. You can enter the coupon code. Wow, my mouth is just doing some weird things right now. You can enter the coupon code 6&20 fan at checkout for the book and PDF combo, and get yourself $5 off that as well. So now, Johnny, take us away. Or who are you? Take us away.
Miss Ninja Ninja's reaction to your mouth comment was quite enjoyable. So.
Yeah, it usually is.
All right, you know who I am. I'm the GM. Let's get started. Or I'm the MC. Let's get started. Previously on 6&20 Metropolis, JP got himself into a big burly brawl with a succubus. The rest of the crew decided that they were going to get involved too, but they had to fight their way through the sheer influence of her. And just as JP is getting his ass kicked up and down, and then he does essentially an uppercut, or he grabs her and throws her through the ceiling into the second floor, thus sort of taking her away from the rest of the group, giving Malcolm an opportunity to do something unthinkable. He stops holding back, and changes happen to Malcolm that are irreversible. Malcolm is now indifferent. He beats the succubus, removes her soul basically, and then the aftermath of it is that he crashes unconscious. With all of that kind of falling apart and kind of breaking down, the crew kind of goes their separate ways and starts to do their daytime sort of activity, their montages. Some healing, some exploring their mythos, some exploring their logos. And then the group gets back together to kind of do a little bit of detective work by tracking down some information from Mr. Gallows. So they head to Xanadu, have a heated conversation with Mr. Gallows. JP and Gephardt really kind of exacerbate the tension there, while Malcolm is just trying to insert himself into the middle of the conversation, while Flora is noticing that there's somebody off in the corner at the VIP area of Xanadu that she kind of recognizes and is sort of familiar, but she can't get Mr. Gallows to actually admit that there's a connection there. So after getting Mr. Gallows to actually agree to introduce JP and Gephardt to Harold Bjorn, Gallows' son, Flora makes her way over to the VIP section after receiving a drink sent on behalf of this VIP in that section. She enters, sits down, starts a conversation, and meets Anatoly Vidalis. And so that's where we're going to fade in. So when this last happened, he kind of dropped a name that might have meant something to Flora. How does she react when he talks about his restaurant, Persephone?
I feel like she would start to, in her job, when she starts to catch on to something or, notice certain patterns, she, I don't want to say judges people, but starts analyzing things. So she's going to be looking at the way he dresses. Is he wearing a wedding ring? Is he, I want like a better description of him, because she's going to be inspecting his clothes. Are they expensive? Does she recognize these bodyguards as the same ones who were here last time with Mr. Bjorn?
Oh no, these are definitely different bodyguards. These guys do not look like, athletic gods. These are rough and tumble, hard mafioso types. These are enforcers. Their cut is definitely different than those that were with Mr. Bjorn. These guys, crew cuts, scarred faces. Their hands are gigantic. You can see that bones have been broken and that their hands are kind of gnarled and almost going a little arthritic. They are bulky. You can see the bulge, on each, under each arm that represents they have two guns on them, in holsters. They're not hiding the fact that they have holstered weapons under their jacket. Their suits are quite well tailored, and their shoes are immaculate. But that doesn't match the immaculate detail of Mr. Vidalis and his. He's a big, bulky guy. If he was to stand up, he would be about 6'4". His suit is well tailored, but he's wearing sort of this grayish white kind of a suit, and it's a very muted kind of grayish white. And he's got a matching tie and a tie pin, and his shirt. He's very immaculately dressed. You can't see his shoes, but if you were to see his shoes, they would also be amazing, sort of handmade, custom shoes. He is wearing a wedding ring, and it is incredibly tarnished. It is old. You can see that there are little streaks on it where he will kind of roll it in his other hand, as on his finger, sort of like this kind of a thing. And you can see him fidget with it occasionally as he's talking to you. And when you look at him in the face, he is a big man. He's a big, bulky kind of guy, bald, and very serious eyes. But there is a little bit of tenderness in there as he regards you.
She would, as she's eyeing him up, just be rubbing her hands together as she reaches to her neck for her necklace, which is what she usually, plays with as she's thinking, realizes it's not there because she's had an upsetting, confusing last day, and this is like the first time she's ever not had it on her person, and which makes her even more uneasy. So, do you often buy drinks for strange women at bars?
I often buy drinks for beautiful women at bars.
I'm not one for flattery.
But it's the truth.
What else do you do in your spare time, aside from this restaurant?
I'm a businessman, mostly a broker of deals. What do you do?
I work for the city.
What kind of work?
All of the dark things people don't want to hear about. Deaths in the city. I examine bodies, investigate crime scenes. The usual.
Do you enjoy this kind of work?
I do. I think it suits me. I enjoy the finality and the detail, and it gives me something to do, to pass time.
What are you passing time from?
I don't have many hobbies except my new friends, which, well, if my hair could go gray, it would be fading rapidly with these around these guys.
And yet I still think you would look beautiful with gray hair.
So is that it? A drink? Is that what married men do? I'm not judging. She kind of like raised her eyebrow at that.
My wife has been gone for a very long time. I honor her by wearing my ring.
Fair enough.
I have not met anyone to match her strength and her beauty and her tenderness.
You will find no tenderness here.
What a pity.
She's gonna pull out one of her cards and put it on the table for him. I don't get around much. My work consumes me, and my charity work, and she points at the table with them,
Charity?
also consumes me.
What do you mean by charity work?
I apologize. My meaning is not clear. I'm their friends. They just get themselves into trouble quite often. Especially that one. And she points at Malcolm.
That one is quite energetic.
Yes.
Oscar and I have had conversations about the one he refers to as Mr. Xanadu.
Ah, yes. The proprietor, I understand.
You think they want a fruit roll-up? They're pomegranate.
I don't know what a fruit roll-up is.
Here, I have like so many of them. Johnny gave them to me. Here.
He looks over at the table, looks back at you. In Oscar's case, he likes to work with those who are desperate for their identity and they need help. You don't appear to need their help.
No, I've I've given up my search for all of that a long time ago. I find comfort in my work.
That's a pity. Should you ever want to have a lovely evening, you can find me at my restaurant. Or I can call you, if you'd like.
She's gonna stand up and with her nail just tap the card. That's why I left this. And turn around to walk down and say have a good evening as she leaves.
Before you go, what is your interest in Harold Bjorn?
We're looking for whoever took the sisters or were involved with the sisters. We have a few other loose ends to tie up as well.
At that, he rolls his eyes a little bit. More trouble than they're worth. I'll be completely honest. I'm very, very familiar with them.
If you have any information you're willing to share.
I don't know anything. But, and he's clearly lying. I don't know anything, but if you have any questions, you can come see me at my restaurant.
She's gonna walk over and, probably more formal than she should, lean down and put her hand on his chair because she noticed he didn't flinch when she went to shake her hand.
Mm-hmm.
and she's going to put it on the back of his chair and lean in. You more attractive when you weren't lying to me. And then she's going to leave. She's going to nod up to the table, the group of the goon squad sitting up top. Just nod to them. She'll pay for the drinks for the table that they bought and leave at the bar and leave.
The goon squad. So you're now not Team Lazarus, now you're the goon squad? I can get behind this.
She's incorporated. It's Goon Squad Incorporated. Goons Incorporated. She looks up and says, "Hey, you go."
That's all the show we have for you guys tonight. Good night.
Throws a where is Snick? What is it? The Snickers?
Oh, Baby Ruth.
Thank
Baby
you.
Ruth.
And then fucking leaves.
Golly. Okay.
Well played.
Okay.
Well played.
I'm also going to go on mute for the rest of the stream.
Well, it's just us, Sam.
Done here. Are you leaving?
So you just walk out?
Yeah, she's gonna go outside. She's not gonna leave the area, but she will go. Well, actually, she's gonna go home. If you guys want her, you can text her. She said she was leaving before that because Mr. Gallus wasn't being helpful.
Okay. Malcolm, on the other hand, is excitedly talking at the table because he just got Mr. G to have a fruit roll up, and he seemed that it was pretty okay. But he is now re-distracted. Guys, did I tell you that I met my friend, the one who got me the candy here? His name was Johnny, and he said that he was a bird, but I didn't believe that he was a bird. But then he also said that he found a dragon, and that the dragon fought a giant bird. I didn't believe that either, because who fights dragons? Where would there even be a dragon in the city? It's just a regular-sized city, and you can't put a big giant dragon in the city. That's crazy. But then did you hear Mr. Gallows? He said that there was not only just one dragon, but he's seen many dragons. You think there's like a lot of dragons? You think he saw dragons like recently? How many dragons do you think there are? What kind of dragons do you think there are?
I'd like to meet a dragon.
You're like a bad ninja. Do you know anything about dragons?
You walked right into that, by the way.
You should never walk into a dragon. It will bite you on the face.
I don't know anything about dragons, but like, I need to talk to one. I have a feeling they may be able to give me some answers.
That's pretty cool. One time I saw a TV show where a guy said, "I punched the heart out of a dragon," and he was really whiny, and he had like ramen noodle hair, and it was really bad, but he kept doing flippy kicks, and he was also a bad ninja. And then all of his friends died. So... So you should be a better ninja in case all your friends die.
Well, I don't want to fight the dragon.
What if the dragon wants to fight you?
What are we talking about?
A dragon.
Why?
Why wouldn't you talk about dragons?
Why are we here? To learn about these sisters, correct?
Oh, I wanted to ask about dragons.
Gallus said he would set up a meeting, but I mean, if we could make that happen like ASAP, that'd be pretty good.
Why do you want to talk to Harold?
Were you not sitting at the table when we...
Did you not hear Mr. Gallows talk about dragons? Whatever you had to say was far less important than dragons, but since we're clearly not going to see dragons, I guess we can see Harold.
Well, we think that Mr. Bjorn may be implicated, and honestly, based on what Gallows says, I think he may think so too. He just doesn't want to admit it.
Mr. G, what is it implicated?
It means that they think someone's involved in something.
Okay. Why didn't he just say that?
I don't know. He talks a lot.
Okay. Johnny is... Johnny, is Harold in the building?
No.
Okay. I don't remember if that was established who was in the VIP.
I don't know if we set up a time for the meeting.
You didn't set up anything. He said he would get back to you. You remember you were pushing and pushing and pushing for the meeting, and he's like, "Listen, I don't want to get involved." And you pushed so hard that finally he's like, "I will get back to you." Damn, Greg, what the hell are you doing there, buddy?
He's being Gephardt.
I have received a text from Flora. strange voice that seems very rude. The gentleman in VIP knows what happened to the sisters. I'm on it. F.
F what?
F us, I guess.
Oh, all right. Well, that's fair.
Well, I don't have any other leads than Bjorn, so I mean,
Did I tell you about Trixie?
who?
Is she
Okay.
a dragon?
Oh my God, I don't know. That changes everything. Okay, so anyway, my friend Johnny, the one who said he was a bird, but I didn't believe he was a bird, and then he saw the dragon, I didn't believe the dragon, but then Mr. Gallo said there was dragons, and now I kind of believe it. Okay, yep. He said that Harold has a daughter named Trixie? Anyway, she's been missing for like a while, but also Johnny thinks that Trixie is the one that took Megan.
One of the sisters?
Yes.
That's Megan. Megan's the one that Flora and I.
Yes, that's the one. The one that you guys didn't help.
Well, she didn't. She said she didn't need help.
Yeah. But wait, hold on, wait, no. But yeah, no. Johnny said that she left with Trixie. So she
How
wasn't
does this
kidnapped.
help us?
Well, she wasn't kidnapped. And then we know that the other one, the Phoebe lady, she also wasn't kidnapped. She hired Manny and his dad to get her out of the city. So maybe the other one, the other one, also wasn't kidnapped, and maybe she hires someone to get her out of the city also. Because there's dragons in the city, and who wants to be in a city full of dragons?
Stop. Roll it back. They all were hired to get out of the city.
Well, no.
Drag.
No, so the Phoebe lady hired Manny and his dad to get her out of the city, and then the Trixie lady left with the Megan, but I don't know about the other one. But what if she also didn't get kidnapped? Because of the dragons.
I don't know about that.
The dragons or the kidnapping?
Any of it.
Okay,
Why am I here?
I don't know.
Neither
It seemed more fun than making wooden toys.
There's nothing more fun than making wooden toys.
They said it was 80s night, and your radio said something, on 80s on 8 all the time, and I figured you'd like it.
That part's great.
Okay.
But we're supposed to see Bjorn. He's not here.
Right.
Gepard, you know why you're here. It's because he's here.
This isn't getting me closer to my family's murderer, JP.
Your family was murdered.
I've told you this, Malcolm.
You just told me something bad happened. That's so much worse.
I agree. If Bjorn's not here, there's no use waiting around. I guess I can take Malcolm and we can try to look into. We can't go back to the skulls, but I guess we could look into this Trixie lady in the meantime. You can take care of your investigation, and unless you need us.
Should you need us?
I have learned how to text because of Flora. Should you need me, you can text number me.
At which point you get a text. Gepard, where are you?
You can text number me.
Flicker.
I have received a text from Flicker.
Gepard, where are you? Come on, answer me. Flicker.
Hold on. It's tough to see. I am
Gepard, this is important. I really need to talk to you. Flicker.
Xanadu.
I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Well,
Send.
This is good. I wanted to talk to Flicker. She wouldn't text me back.
We have her phone.
She's gonna,
Yeah, you text her and it like buzzes in Malcolm's pocket.
she's gonna be so mad that we went to that office building again.
When is she not mad?
I don't know, really.
Has it been 5 minutes?
So, while you are waiting, we're going to cut outside to Flora. What is Flora?
Flora is sitting. She talks to the bouncer on the way out and asks about that gentleman.
Which gentleman is that? Mr. Vidalis?
Yes, the gentleman in VIP.
Tamonte looks down at you because you're shorter than him, as he was pretty much taller than everybody except for the possibility of El Kukui, but let's not get into that right now. He looks down at you and he says, "You don't want to be messing with him. Why are you asking?"
Everyone keeps telling me that, and no one says why. Maybe I'll listen if someone says why.
Because
You
we're
tell
concerned-
Malcolm not to look on top of the fridge for treats. What do you think he's going to do? Sorry,
Malcolm is
Mr.
a
Zip.
child. Malcolm is a child, and we humor him. And you see a genuine smile come across his face, even though the glasses are still on. We have great concern when it comes to Anatoly. And we don't want anybody hurt. That's why we're asking you to not get involved.
Why would I get hurt, I guess is my question.
Because he hurts people. Like us.
More of an answer than I expected. Thank you. She's just going to wait across the street for the rest of them to leave. She wanted to leave the club. She doesn't like not knowing things. She didn't like how he was looking at her, so she left. She's going to wait outside and just drink. She's just pacing on the other side of the street on the sidewalk, drinking.
Just waiting to see if any of us come out.
Yeah.
Well, now we're waiting for Flicker, so...
Yeah, she doesn't know where to go.
Well, so as you reach the other side of the the street, and you begin to, what are you drinking from? Are you drinking from a bottle, or are you pulling out a flask?
A bottle.
Okay, all right. As you're taking essentially a hit off the bottle, you're looking back over at Xanadu, and you see Flicker appear right in front of Tamonte, has a quick conversation, and immediately goes inside.
She'll follow her.
Within a matter of seconds, you hear, what, whoa, Gephardt, GP, and Flicker, Malcolm, and Flicker is sitting right next to you, drink in hand. Where's the creepy one?
She enters.
You texted me.
Yeah, but you've been hanging out with Malcolm and the do-gooder and the creepy one for the last couple of days. I've been watching you all.
Yeah, you're a do-gooder.
So
She had just...
she's the creepy one, but you've been watching us.
You're a nerd.
I'm trying to help you, Gephardt. Are you going to be a jerk about it?
Probably.
Are you sure?
Flicker, why are you here?
Are you here for the dragons?
Who told them about dragons?
My friend Johnny, he said he was a bird one time, and I don't believe that he was a bird. Then he said a giant bird fought a dragon, and I didn't believe that either. Then I talked to Mr. Gallows, and he said he saw lots of dragons before.
Is this the same Johnny that got my number from my phone, Malcolm? And she kind of looks at you expectantly.
Yes.
You're not the only person's number he got from that phone, so...
Yes, but I clearly have less time on my hands and more to do right now, since you're just hanging out in a bar. She looks, pointedly at JP.
sometimes.
I have all the time.
I can't really argue with that. So did you want Flora to be here? I mean, she just left. I'm sure she's not that far.
I imagine Flora is walking up right about now as you're saying this. And she's like, oh, great. The
She
creepy
didn't even
one.
put the bottle away. She just has it in her hand.
Ooh, do you have a new boyfriend? I saw that. You were talking to him. You leaned in really close, and you like almost touched him.
She gives him the scariest look, so he poops a little bit.
She has a boyfriend.
Malcolm,
Mr.
what
G.
are you talking about?
Mr. G, she has a boyfriend. Nothing. You weren't here.
She pulls out a candy bar. Malcolm, what are you talking about?
I have treats from Johnny.
Stay strong, little one.
She puts that back in. She pulls out a 3DS. Malcolm, what are you talking about?
Where's the charger?
Oh, and then she pulls out Mario Kart.
Oh, the bald guy was her boyfriend. Give me those. That's
Which
way more
bald
fun
guy?
than your fun. The only one bald guy. That one.
Flicker.
Hands it over.
Yes.
The gentleman in VIP recognizes me, and everyone tells me to stay away because he hurts people like us. End quote.
I know who Mr. Vidalis is.
Then enlighten me.
Ooh.
Mr. Vidalis, he's responsible for a good portion of the crime in the city. And that's only his day job.
Like a pirate.
No,
It's like
Malcolm,
some sort of kingpin.
The kingpin
in
of
this
pirates.
case, very much a terrible monarch.
Like the pirate king.
Did you read my message, Mr. G?
I did.
Out loud and slowly. It was funny. Sorry.
Flicker, he knows what happened to the sisters. All three of them.
Of that, I have no doubt. Nothing happens in his city without him knowing.
Then he knows about my family's murder.
Of that, I have no doubt either.
Then I should speak with him.
Does he know about dragons?
That I don't know, Malcolm. Would you like to go and ask him? No, that's a bad idea. I actually came here to have a real conversation, not get you into more trouble. Not tonight. Now, Gephardt. What are you planning to do next about your case?
I believe Miss Jenkins at Pandora's Delights was the liaison for my wife when it came to the school board. She will be the next person I visit, as I have her address.
Okay. Is that all you're going to do?
No, I intend to find the person that killed my family and...
Obviously, and she gets impatient with you.
What do you want from me, Flicker?
I want to understand what you're going to do next. I'm concerned because I don't know if you know, but there are people looking into you.
Let them look.
Are they dragons?
Somebody is going to discover your little thing in the.
Gross.
They will not.
Who is looking?
Somebody connected to Detective Roth. His messages are protected for some reason, but I can see the content of them. I just can't see who he's sending and receiving with.
I can try to get that answer if you'd like.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. He's mentioned you to this person too.
So much
She's
for
gonna-
confidential meetings.
Gephardt,
You-
outside of the people at this table, who else knows about your situation.
Most people understand, JP, that I murdered my family. The people at this table, I would hope, think that I did not.
What I meant is, outside of the people at this table, who else knows that you're not the one in, you know,
Probably the murderer.
that
I
they
would
would
say
go
the-
visit? How many people know that you're not a jailkeeper?
Everyone at this table, Flicker, Mr. Gallows, apparently, if he's as astute as he claims.
Don't doubt Mr. Gallows says.
I would assume our bald friend.
And Johnny. Well, I mean, he doesn't know anything. He just knows that you're Mr. G and that you're my friend.
I just need to get closer to the killer. I don't care who gets closer to me.
You're putting yourself on a clock, Gephardt.
The clock started when the clock started when my family was killed.
The do-gooder's right. The more exposed you are, the less likely you're going to.
Nerd.
They won't catch me. The cost is too high.
Because he's the gingerbread man.
That's right. I'm the motherfucking gingerbread man.
Oh, you were mad at me for talking about dragons. Oh, wow.
So this person connected with Roth, he knows all of our involvement?
As far as I can tell, it's a she.
What does she do?
I don't know. I just know that they have a close relationship and that they have consulted on cases in the past.
She sticks her nose into business that does not concern her.
Is it
That's
his-
all I need to know.
Is
She
it
seems
his
incredibly
girlfriend?
familiar with your case, Gephardt.
Well, then I question her intelligence. She should know that I was not the one that killed my family, if she is so intimately involved in it.
Flora knows Mr. Roth.
She does. And she was very public about her interactions with him, which is how I also know about him. There was no confidentiality going on there.
Do you have 2 boyfriends?
0, Malcolm. Flicker. I get weird feelings that I know him. Can you explain that to me? Since you're all-knowing.
Yeah, I only know what's out there. I only know the information that I can pull up. I don't know anything else other than what I can tell you about him from his text messages or, the emails that he sends or the news articles or the surveillance.
Then I want
I'm
logs
good,
of any
but I'm
texts.
not that good.
I want any texts that he sends out tonight involving me. Can you do that for me?
I'm kind of busy, but sure, if you're going to help me.
Well, we did take care of, and then she
So now we really get to it.
What are we getting to?
You only ever come give us information when you want something from us.
No, she asked me to do something, and I'm bartering an exchange here.
what do
Listen
you
to
want?
her. You're smart, but you're a little naive. Honestly, I came here to talk to Gephardt, and you're asking me a bunch of questions and asking me to do a bunch of things. So I'm more than willing to help you, but you got to help me too.
What do you want?
I want you to get to as close to Mr. Vidalis as possible because I believe that's exactly what's going on. I think he's involved with his sisters. I can't prove it. I've been watching his texts.
Man.
I've been watching his emails. The only exchanges that I see him having that even remotely relate He's engaged in business dealings with Aesir Industries. Specifically, he's been dealing with Harold, and he's been dealing with the management and acquisitions team for Chow Industries.
And they're all on your board.
What board, Malcolm? What are you talking about?
The same board from before, the last time you found me, when I was with the Chow girl.
My murder board?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that relevant, Malcolm? Why are you talking about that right now?
You just said all their names together at the same time. The only other time I saw their names together was on your board.
Well, clearly I haven't updated that board because the interactions between them and Mr. Vidalis just became evident to me after we spent a fair bit of time at Pandora's Delights gathering all that information I was looking for.
Oh.
This could be good. I mean, we're working on setting up a meeting with Harold Bjorn.
He's dangerous.
I've heard.
More or less dangerous than Mr. Vidalis.
A different kind of dangerous.
Not the answer I was looking for.
Bjorn is bold, aggressive, a bully. Vidalis is cold, calculating. He will move against you, and you won't even see it coming.
So Bjorn is less dangerous than Vidalis. Thank you.
No.
More or less dangerous than a dragon.
I don't think any of this matters.
Is no one concerned about
I
dragons?
am working on meeting with him again at his restaurant. I'll see what I can get.
Be careful. Persephone is a
She.
fortress. It's where he does all of his real business.
I understand that.
Persephone's a bitch of an establishment.
Malcolm!
Say! I heard someone say that before on the radio, and I didn't know what it meant.
Are you gonna need backup, Flora?
No.
All right.
But I will need a work. Fuck.
Oh,
I'm not sure any of us can...
I hate going in her. I hate going in her closet. Oh,
what does that mean?
What does that mean?
my other clothes.
Oh, I thought you were looking for a fuck. I didn't understand the context of the sentence.
If I had one to give about your issues, you would know.
Oh,
Right.
man.
Dreamboat.
Though it sounds like our best bet while we wait for this meeting with Bjorn is if Flora can get anything else from Vidalis.
Can you get me his number? He has mine, but I'm not gonna wait.
Did he give you a way to contact him?
Johnny, he didn't, did he? He just said the restaurant and that he would call me because I gave him my card.
Exactly.
No, he did not. I gave him my card.
Like I said, he's cold, he's calculating. He will be way far ahead of you in how things work. You need to earn his trust.
No, he seems like a lonely old man, like the rest of the people I work with.
He's deceptive.
Not you, Mr. G.
Lonely old boyfriend.
Lonely old puppy.
Gross.
God damn it. In the meantime, I will do that. If you could get his texts, it'll help me be a step ahead.
When I find something relevant, it's yours.
Done.
Just be careful.
Careful is my middle name.
If what I
That's a
suspect
weird
is,
name.
and you can see, so every other time that you've seen Flicker, she is multitasking. She is doing something while she's talking to you. She's being very very careful to be very slow and very dramatic and very specific. She's focusing on all of you. So this should give you some sort of understanding of the seriousness of what she's trying to convey. As she says, if what I suspect is true, and he is involved, if we don't return the sisters, things are going to get a lot worse. And it directly involves whatever development project he's planning for Crossend.
Well, we have 2 out of 3 locations, right? Or at least people to talk to.
Well, if you're going after Vidalis alone and Gephardt's gonna go look for Jenkins, I suppose Malcolm and I can look into.
The library.
No, I was gonna say Trixie.
Oh. You know, I'm just a kid, and I know that this is everything here is really important, but I think everyone is having a real lack of concern with dragons.
Malcolm, if we come across any dragons, you can handle it. That's
I
your
mean,
job.
I know I can, but the 3 of you can't. And what if there's multiple dragons, like Mr. Gallo said?
Dragons don't like fancy restaurants.
Anyway, is everyone good with that game plan? I mean,
I still need to speak to Gephardt, as she says, again, very pointedly and very slowly.
Malcolm.
Are you not doing that right now?
What if we go get you some milk?
I have so many energy drinks that I couldn't even drink milk or I would throw up all over you. And I think that you would be okay with that because you spit on people and that's gross because sometimes you do gross stuff and puking on people is also gross, so you might also do that.
First of all,
Yes.
it's a defense mechanism, like a snake, and they shoot out venom. It's not for fun. Join me at the bar.
Okay.
And she's gonna look over to Mr. Naivety and just...
yeah, I'm coming with you. I can take a hint.
Can you?
I don't know, you're pretty naive.
Yeah, I was gonna-
Get that nonverbal communication.
Girl's like, we should go back to my place. You're like, why? Do you need help getting home?
I'm great at putting shelving together. Do you have shelves that need to be put together?
Between you and Malcolm, you'd be like, are you safe walking home? And Malcolm would be like, I heard there's dragons. He should really walk you home.
Wingman. Adorable wingman.
You know what else has wings?
Dragons. You see what I'm saying, though, right? This is
Full
like,
circle.
so some people are
the
getting
bar.
kidnapped. They're getting kidnapped. That's fine if you get kidnapped, and some people are getting dead, and that's fine if you get dead. But there's dragons, and the dragons could kidnap people, and they can kill people. And if there's multiple dragons, they can kill so many more people. And this is the conversation that's happening as you're getting to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
But there was the giant bird. How big would a giant bird have to be to fight a dragon?
Depends how big the dragon is.
It was big enough to make Johnny scared. And
I don't know. I took down that one big guy. You just need to be powerful enough.
Johnny punched a trash can and dented it.
Yeah. Cool.
And I poked him in the eye with a stick, and he didn't even feel it.
While he's talking, she's just trying to deal with this conversation by drowning
Yeah.
herself.
And Johnny has friends, and he's friends with Gio, and he's friends with Cal, and he's friends with another scary lady like you. I think he said that's a scary doctor lady, and I said that I have a scary lady too, and that she's like a doctor lady. He said that she talks to dead people, and he said that she doesn't talk to dead people, that she turns people into crows, and I said that's crazy. No one turns people into crows. So this is the conversation happening to and at the bar, while Flicker is discussing with Mr. G whatever needs to be discussed.
Once the rest of them leave, Gephardt, she looks at you with great concern. I promised that I would help you find who killed your family.
You did.
Why are you not taking it serious that someone is going to discover that you're not in prison?
Because they're not going to discover that, Flicker.
How are you going to guarantee that? There would be a manhunt. You know that.
No.
Convince
There
me.
would be an accident.
And how is that going to solve the problem? They're going to discover that it's a wood puppet.
No, he's currently working in the shop.
Okay.
He's going to burn up.
You do realize, Gephardt, that there is this little thing called science, and they do these tests, and they can tell when something is actually human remains versus, say, other organic material like wood.
I agree, Flicker. And have you ever seen a scientist that looks at something that's supposed to be organic and it turns out to be wood, and they decide to go to their boss and say, "Boss, I believe this was a wooden person"?
I don't have any idea what is going to happen. I'm just concerned. Are you sure? Are you sure that you're confident that this is that you don't want to take any action to prevent?
Let them come, Flicker. If someone is intent on finding me, they will find me. And when they do, one of two things will happen. I will either continue my search for my family's murderer, or I will not.
Okay.
I appreciate your concern, though. Have you any additional information on my family's murderer?
Not directly. I do know.
Have you been chased by the people that were looking for you?
I have been spotted, yes. I was able
Have you
to
been
avoid
chased and harried like you were before I helped you?
them. Gephardt, if you're going to start down this path, we're going to change
What path?
We're going to change the nature of our relationship. I appreciate what you did for me. I have given you information. You have the next step in your investigation. I will continue to help you, specifically because you are doing so well with Malcolm. I don't want to change that circumstance. He needs the father figure.
Speaking of Malcolm, I am not doing as great a job as you give me credit for. And should I find my family's murderer, or should they find me before I can complete my quest, you will need to find someone else to watch Malcolm. You know this.
As I've said before, you are not the first.
May I make a suggestion?
If you say the do-gooder, I swear to God, I can't stand him.
JP.
He doesn't need a big brother. He needs a father.
JP is a teacher. That is a bit of both.
He needs guidance, not instruction. There is a difference.
I believe they can find it together. And perhaps that is what Malcolm has always needed. Not someone that is known and is trying to sway, someone that is finding and walking the path for the first time with him. I won't be here much longer, Flicker. We both know this.
All right. I'll consider it.
consider it strongly.
He has a great association with the creepy one, Flora. I'm not sure that that's healthy for Malcolm. Especially with how she's connected to Anatoly.
She is a good model, but I believe JP is a companion he can travel with.
All right. I'll consider it. I do have one thing for you, though, Gephardt, which is actually the reason that I showed up.
Okay.
My understanding is that whatever program your wife was involved in, the information, the evidence of it, the wasn't stored at the headquarters, not at Pandora's Delights in the downtown district. They have a manufacturing facility in the industrial zone. They're one of the cleanest factories there. In fact, they get the highest quality standards, so it must be a great facility. They've got an R&D section there where they were working on whatever they were working on. I think that's.
Do you have?
I think that's.
Is it guarded?
Yes, heavily.
How heavily?
It's an R&D department inside of a manufacturing or a food production factory. They do everything there. They produce all of their sodas, all of their food products. Everything comes out of there. It's quite a large facility. My understanding is that it's a fortress in and of itself because they protect their recipes and their secrets for their current product line. Whatever they were working on is in their R&D department, and that's at the heart of the place.
And this Jenkins woman, is she there?
No, she was the liaison between the public program, the corporate office, and the R&D department. She might have more information on how to get you in there. But that will have the information about probably why, if they were responsible, or if anybody was responsible from that company, that information as to why she would be targeted would be right there.
Thank you, Flicker.
I told you, Gephardt. I care what happens to you. I want you to succeed. I want you to find your family's killer. But I want to make sure that you are able to do that and still be here and take care of Malcolm. He does need you.
He reaches across and kind of taps the top of her hand with his palm as she's probably working on a smartphone of some kind.
Nope, she's focused completely on him. Her hands are on the table. Like I said, she is specifically very conscious of the fact that she is not doing anything else and focusing on this conversation with you when JP and Malcolm and Flora were there with them.
He taps the top of her hand. Thank you regardless. And remember what I said about JP. And from his left eye, there's a flare, that diamond, almost like an anime long shot from the X-Men flare of blue light that comes out of his left eye as he stands up and moves over to the bar.
Gephardt.
Yes.
What if it's not them? What if it's not the reason that your family died?
Then I shall find the reason and the one that wields it, and I shall remove them from this place.
All right. Tell Malcolm I say goodbye. And
I
at
shall.
that, she pulls out a phone. She starts typing very quickly, you see her disposition change, and she's gone.
He goes over to the bar. Flicker is gone. She says goodbye, Malcolm.
So is everyone on board for my plan then?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to you.
Flicker is gone. She says goodbye.
Oh no, I heard that. She says goodbye all the time. She'll be back. So you're gonna go do stuff, and you're gonna go talk to your boyfriend. And where are we going?
We're gonna go look into Trixie Bjorn.
Yeah, but where though?
Well, don't you know where she lives?
No,
We should ask Flicker.
I just said that she was kidnapped. I mean that she was missing. She didn't kidnap anybody. I just said that she was missing.
How old is she?
I don't know. I don't actually know her.
While this is going on, Gephardt sits down beside Flora.
She goes to push her bottle to you, shakes her head like, duh, and then just goes back to drinking.
He kind of leans in a bit to her. If I accompany you to this Mr. Vidalis at his Persephone, will you accompany me somewhere?
I don't recommend you come with me. I don't think he'll be as forthcoming. But I will
Maybe
absolutely
not.
help you.
I need to allow you to do your thing, and then I need to cross something off my list.
Tonight?
Whenever you go. I promise I will not interfere in your exchange.
I haven't set the time yet. He hasn't called.
He will. He doesn't strike me as a fool.
Something about him is... It's more than what Flicker said.
It's familiar.
It's worse than that.
There's nothing worse than that.
There is when you don't know what that familiarity is,
Dragons are worse.
or why. I have no family, aside from you, no friends. I have nothing but my work. I don't like familiarity.
Then let's get to the bottom of it. I shall accompany you. I shall put on my best Cure t-shirt and have a drink at the bar. And then when you are finished, I will cross something off my list.
What does your shirt cure?
It cures everything.
Like a magic shirt. Wow.
So So what are me and Malcolm gonna do then?
That's what I keep asking you.
I thought we were. You said you knew about this girl.
No, I didn't. You don't listen when I talk. I said that I knew that there was a girl named Trixie and that she was missing and that Harold Bjorn was looking for her and that he didn't find her and that she found the Megan lady and that the Megan lady went with her. God.
I think that... Why don't you two meet with Harold Bjorn?
But Mr. Gallows didn't set up the appointment.
He will.
But he's busy working right now.
It'll be here, Mr. Xanadu.
Oh.
A very safe place. In some place where perhaps you and JP can become better acquainted and have an adventure.
Have an adventure in one place. Something to do here. Just loud music and a bunch of people dancing, all like wiggly, touching butts.
Still,
But it's your club, Malcolm. You got home field advantage.
I don't play baseball. One time I did take a baseball and hit Manny in the hand with it. I think I broke his hand though. That was pretty funny. Fine, we can stay here.
You stay here for the meeting, and we'll go on another picnic with cakes and tea and all of that happy bullshit.
I have to stay here and you're going on a picnic?
You tomorrow.
Oh,
Is that fair?
I guess so.
Yeah. Mr. G.
Wait,
I'd like-
Malcolm. This Bjorn. He's a pirate, Malcolm. Very dangerous.
Mr. Vidalis is a pirate too.
As we were told, they both are.
Fine. I'll protect JP.
Gephardt reaches into his pocket, pulls forth a small, thin sliver of wood that he discreetly extends into a pirate cutlass and presents it to Malcolm. Now, as I've been reading the rules, would this require me to, I don't know, make some type of tag up or something? Or do we want to just...
At this point, it's a story tag, and Malcolm is just going to get a story tag, given it's out of context, or it's out of a. There's no question that you'll be able to do it at this point, right? It's not like there's a risk of any kind. So
Dope.
That being said, how do you make that discreetly and hand it to Malcolm, who is going to then go, and scream and crow with it?
Well,
What?
because I throw it right back on you, Mr. MC. How does the mist hide the fact that I just made a sword in the middle of a fucking bar?
It's just a bunch of straws put together.
Except
Right.
that, as I've pointed out in the past,
Doesn't affect people here.
working correctly.
Yeah, mist is working weird.
And so what you do is kind of visible. I mean, it's there. The mist is there. It kind of obscures it a little bit. But Malcolm is definitely getting a sword.
Okay, so here's what he would do is he would kind of grab Malcolm, gently turn him facing away from him. He would take the small piece of wood, put it underneath his collar, and extend it so just the tip of the hilt peeks out of the back of his jacket so he could grab it and use it if he needs it. And then he looks at him and goes,
So you're saying you're gonna grab his wood, but only the tip?
He is a child.
You're
Phrasing
gross.
Right.
Everyone in the bar, in the entire restaurant, slowly turns their back to JP.
That was Sam who made that off-color joke.
JP gets thrown out
I wouldn't
again.
make that distinction, right?
Flora will lean back down after he does then, as Malcolm, I'm assuming, is attempting to not run around like a crazy person with a sword. Just lean down. That item that you are working on for me. I've been dreaming of it. I'm not rushing you, but what is the timeline on this?
Your companion?
In a word.
They will be ready day after tomorrow. You can
Thank
come
you.
by, see them if you wish.
I will tomorrow.
I bet she's
Okay.
making more boyfriends.
Out of wood?
I
Are
am.
we gonna go there?
3 of them.
Wow. This music is too perfect right now. Well, if you need anything else, you know where to find me.
Let me know when he calls,
Hmm.
and I will make sure my cure shirt is pressed and ready.
Will do. And she'll put her hand on JP's back. Watch him. Good night, Malcolm. She's gonna leave.
Night, creepy lady.
Go home.
Malcolm, as long as this goes well with Mr. Bjorn, we can go find a dragon afterwards.
Yes! I'm going to text Johnny.
As he pulls out Flicker's phone to text Johnny, a server comes up to you, JP, and hands you a little note. And it says, first thing in the morning, Acer Industries, present this card. 8:30 a.m. Harold Bjorn. That's your appointment.
I look to Malcolm and I'm like, I guess we don't have to wait around, but we got to be at Acer Industries at 8:30 tomorrow. Do you know where that is, Malcolm?
No.
I'm gonna like pull out my phone and like type it into the net. Or actually, I'm gonna grab Flicker's phone. I'm gonna type.
I'm writing.
I'm gonna type the location into the navigation, and then I'm gonna press start and hand it back to Malcolm. I'm just like, make sure you meet me here at 8:30 a.m.
1, you're the worst adult ever, and a bad ninja. 2, that's so early.
Well, I'm a bad ninja because I'm not a ninja.
I know.
But I think I'm a pretty good adult.
You don't even know where that place is, and you just asked a kid.
I do know where the place was. I was trying to make sure that you knew where the place was, so you would.
Sure.
All right. So, Malcolm, are you gonna meet me there?
Fine.
You promise?
You better have a snack.
I will bring you a snack, but it has to be healthy.
Oh, this is like torture. You want me to wake up super early, you want to meet you in a strange place with a creepy guy, and you're bringing a healthy snack? You suck.
You know what, Malcolm? It's fine. You don't have to come, but if I meet the dragon, I'm gonna tell him that you said that you don't like dragons. That's why you didn't come.
Don't like dragons, and I'm gonna fight him. Fine.
You don't need to fight dragons. Some dragons are pretty nice.
You don't know. You said you didn't know anything about dragons already.
Well, I mean,
I listened because dragons are important.
I don't, but the other one knows something about dragons.
What other one?
Just forget it. Can we meet? We'll find the dragons after.
Fine.
All right. Well, have a good night, Malcolm. Stay safe. Do you need me to walk you home? It's dark out, I guess.
No. Why are you being so weird? I'm gonna go to the library.
All right. Well, if you need me, let me know.
You can come. You seem lonely.
Sure, Malcolm. I'd love to come with you to the library.
Cool. My friend works there.
All right.
Books.
Okay, so let me understand what's going on here. The night isn't over yet for Malcolm and JP. Gephardt, where are you going?
I have some work to do.
You're gonna
In
put
my
on
shop.
some more 80s music and maybe like clean your, press your Kira shirt since you're an old man.
It seems like a Kenny Loggins kind of night.
Highway to the danger zone.
I was gonna say, are we talking about Top Gun? Or are we talking about Footloose? Or are we talking about like Caddyshack?
We're talking about Caddyshack 2. A little Back to the Shack action.
Wow.
Wow.
Forgot about that one, didn't you? Gephardt didn't. Listens to it all the
Back to
time.
the wood shack,
Yes. Winds of wild insanity.
where all his toys
Blow
are.
with me tonight.
Okay.
Saddle up all you.
Okay, so that is definitely a situation where so Gephardt sounds like he's going off and he's going to eventually do a montage there of some kind, because that's the perfect song for a montage. Flora, what about you?
1 second here.
No, you don't get any seconds.
Well, too bad.
Damn it. Damn it. Damn it.
Sorry. She is going to
Are you going to do a montage, or are you going to do something else tonight? Is my question. I think I'm going to do a montage. Okay, so let's go ahead and resolve whatever is in Malcolm's head, because I'm a little afraid about whatever's in Malcolm's head going to a library of all places. I mean, because come on, guys, does anybody else here really believe that Malcolm actually reads books?
I don't think Malcolm can read.
I don't think Malcolm can read either, but let's find out. All right, so we're cutting to where, Malcolm? Hashtag pro streamer.
I had to write my text message, and my keyboard is super loud. We're headed to the library, obviously. That's what I said 9 times. We're headed to specifically the old library? I forget what it's actually called. The library in the old quarter.
Okay.
That's what it's called. And I have a friend there. He's a friend.
It's pretty late, so it's closed when you get there, but your friend is definitely working.
Yeah. And Malcolm just has access everywhere. Obviously.
How do you get into there, Malcolm?
Well, describe to me, what does this library look like?
I'm imagining it's sort of got sort of like a Spanish motif, maybe an adobe kind of a front, very old architecture, kind of arched roof, and inside it's a 2-story kind of a thing, but it's more of an intimate kind of a setting than it is. It's intimate. It's sort of an intimate setting. 2-story. It's just one big room, right? And the floor is, kind of laid with a bunch of tables. And at the center, of course, there's like a librarian's desk kind of a thing, and that's generally.
But this is huge, right? This isn't like your normal town library. This is like Smithsonian Library. This is like the Library of Natural History or some shit, isn't it?
Oh, you're talking about that particular location.
Yeah. The big library of the old quarter.
Oh. Okay, hold on just a second then. Yes, it would be gigantic. Do you want to describe it, or do you want me to find it?
Yeah, sure. It's that same old school like DC feel, right? It's that old architecture, columns, massive capped roof, and it's huge, and it smells old and looks old, and it's during the day.
You're not talking about a library. You're talking about the museum.
No, where Fadi works. He works in the library.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, so it's this whole huge old like Smithsonian style library, right, with like a bunch of old books, like super old books, like Library of Modern History kind of thing. There's like 2 big statues of some kind outside of it, right, because that's what old libraries have. And there's like busts inside that kind of decorate the different rows of the books, there'd be like 2, I assume, glass or wooden glass doors on the outside that are clearly locked, and there's probably like still a light or 2 inside because nighttime is when the janitorial staff comes through, and my friend stays there far too often, far too long.
Okay.
So Malcolm kind of walks it up and he says, "Welcome to the library. Have you ever been to the library? There's a lot of books in the library."
I have been to the library, Malcolm.
Okay. This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the doors are locked, so I mean, maybe is there a secret trapdoor?
No, it's a library, JP.
So how are you planning on getting in, Malcolm?
I'm gonna sneak in, like a real ninja.
Great, excellent. Let's do that.
Okay, cool, great. So Johnny, I'm gonna roll to sneak in, and when I do, I'm gonna unlock the door for him.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the deal. You stay right here, because I can't show you how I can sneak in, because I'm not allowed to sneak in, and if I show you how to sneak in, then you can sneak in too, and then it's two bad things, and then if Fadi knows that I showed you how to sneak in, he'll get mad at me for sneaking in again. So you stay here.
All right.
Okay, cool. Thanks. And Malcolm's going to go around to the side of the building where there are like those overhangs with the columns on them, and then above that there's like that slant, and the windows are there. Those two small windows that let fold in, right? The ones that's very hard to break into. And I'm going to I'm not sure what to roll for breaking into some place. Change the game, perhaps.
Sneaking around.
Sneaking around. I could do sneaking around.
Move? Yeah.
Yeah, I could do sneaking
I
around.
mean, unless you want to apply unless you want to use juice to change the scene in some significant way,
Nope.
It seems like it's just a matter of sneaking in and
Yeah.
sneaking around.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. So I'm going to use, especially if JP's not looking, I'm going to use flight. I'm going to use uncanny parkour and a window left open to sneak around. Does that work?
That sounds good.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Sneaking around town, doing some sneaks, changing the overlays like a pro streamer. Sneaking around. Ka-chow. Well, I succeeded mildly.
Okay. So I'll describe the consequence as it comes up when it comes up. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, so
Right.
basically, Malcolm looks around and he makes sure that he's like out of the light, and he kind of half climbs, half floats up one of the columns until he's on the slanted roof, and he scrambles across the slanted roof, and then opens the window and sort of slips in and like pulls himself up, and then closes the window, and then gently lowers himself down into the library.
As you're doing this, as you're kind of walking in and you're kind of making your way down to the first floor of the library, you hear in the distance some stomping and huffing and puffing.
Does it sound like a normal amount of stomping and huffing and puffing?
It sounds like Fadi.
Okay. Does he sound like he's moving towards the door or towards me?
No, he sounds like he's moving towards the back of the building.
Okay. Yeah, so if he's moving away, I quickly go over to the door and unlatch the door or unlock the deadbolt and let JP in.
Okay.
Okay, so you're in. See? It's not a trapdoor. You're just going to sneak in through the window, obviously. I mean, shoot. You have to sneak in through the secret hidden door. Shut up. Anyway, so my friend works here. He's not going to be happy to see you. He's probably not going to be happy to see me. But don't look like you're trying to steal anything, because he'll fight you. Even though he just looks like an old fat guy. He's still going to fight you. And he's going to beat you up, maybe. But we don't want to beat anyone else up here. And we're here to look for books on dragons.
All right.
You've been here before. Do you know where the dragon books are?
I do not.
Okay.
But I mean, you said your friend works here, so.
Yep. Okay, so he's not going to be happy about this. So I need you to put on your biggest nice guy face.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Great. Ready?
Yep.
Hey, Funny, it's me, Malcolm. Hey, I know you're in here. What are you doing? Hey, I brought a friend. Don't find my friend. He's here. It's okay. It's fine. We're here to look for books on dragons. Hey, Funny, do you know anything about dragons? I found there was a dragon. Mr. Gals told me about a dragon. My friend Johnny told me about the dragon. There's so many dragons. How many dragons are in the city? Funny!
You hear this footsteps and the huffing and puffing stop for a second.
Oh, he's going to be super mad.
And you hear some pensive sort of back and forth as if there's some piece of wood is kind of shifting under an immense weight. And you hear the stomping beginning to come back your direction.
Okay, he's going to be super mad. But it's fine. He knows me. Okay. And we wait.
Where do you wait specifically?
Oh, like right in the main aisle of this. So like I imagine like the double doors kind of open up and there's like a corridor where there's like different like desks to sit down and read. Where there's like those old school lamps with the green lampshade on them, right? And then like the rows and rows and rows of books start. And then like there's like busts on each row of books, and like right in the middle where the tables end and the books begin, there's like that circular librarian's desk situation. And so we're waiting like basically where you would walk in and ask for help, like the information desk.
You hear the huffing and puffing increase from one of the stacks of the library as the stomping just keeps louder and louder. JP, it sounds like an immense individual is coming your direction, and it's kind of setting you uncomfortable. And Malcolm just kind of like kind of waiting, and out from the stacks comes this gigantic, obese man carrying a stack of books in each arm as he's just kind of Malcolm?
Hi!
I thought I told you never to come here again.
You keep saying that every time, but I keep coming back, and we have a fun time. I have questions about dragons. You know anything about dragons? This is my friend JP. He's not a ninja.
Hi.
That's Fadi.
He said you guys were friends. I didn't realize you told him not to come here. I wouldn't have...
The door was unlocked.
I don't have time tonight, Malcolm. I really, really don't.
Did you fight anybody else?
Every night.
Do you
He
need
stomps
help?
over to the door, or the kind of center console or the desk thing, and he puts the books down, and he kind of pushes up the sleeves on his his shirt, and you hear him huffing and puffing. Malcolm, do I have to throw you and your friend out again?
No,
Or are you going quietly this time?
I'll leave quietly, but I just want to know about dragons.
You can come back like any normal person when the library is open.
But I have to go talk to Harold Bjorn with JP in the morning, and it's going to be super boring, and I just want to know about dragons right now, because I was talking to Mr. Gals about dragons because I was at Xanadu, and he said there's a lot of dragons, and my friend JP turned into a bird, and he said there was a giant bird that fought dragons. I didn't believe that. So I came to you because you know everything, because you're the best librarian ever, and you're the smartest guy that I know. And you would tell me if they were bad guys.
He looks over to JP. Is any of that real?
Oh, I cannot confirm that his friend Johnny saw a dragon, but I can indeed confirm that Gallows said there were many dragons.
See?
I also have a little weird feeling like I kind of want to talk to a dragon if possible. It'd be nice.
Will you leave quietly, Malcolm, if I get you a book on dragons?
Yes.
Will you promise to return it?
I'll make sure it gets back to you.
See?
Okay. And he begins to walk back in towards the stacks.
And Malcolm follows him.
Malcolm, wait here.
What if they're
Grab Malcolm by his
But what if
collar.
they're bad guys?
I'm sure he knows how to handle himself.
I know he does.
He comes stomping back a couple of minutes later with a gigantic book. And he plops it down and it just kind of lands with a huge thud. Now, I'm trusting you, Malcolm. This book has been in the library for a long time.
And I can take it?
You can borrow it as long as you return it
Okay.
tomorrow.
I can't read it that fast. Okay.
Can you read, Malcolm?
You know, I don't ask you if you could do stuff. Okay?
Wait, you can't. Well, I can read.
All right. Now, will you leave quietly so I can go get some work done?
Yes.
And at that, you hear a crash coming from all the way at the back of the library as there is some glass breaking.
Do you need help?
No.
I have a sword.
No, Malcolm. You're only going to get hurt. JP, or sorry, he looks to you and he says, you, his friend.
Yep.
Get him.
I got. Come on, Malcolm. We'll go read the book.
But there's bad guys in the library again.
I'll read the book to you.
What if the library's beat up Fadi?
He's gonna be okay. He knows how to take care of himself.
What if he has books on how to be a better ninja? Fine, let's go.
Well, I'm not a ninja.
I know.
Okay, so you see him turn and begin to move back that direction. And JP, just as that happens, you catch a shadow on the ground of, where he's kind of moving. You catch his shadow. And what you see differently is that is gigantic in size in comparison, and there is the tail coming for the shadow. And he just continues to move into the stacks, and then that shadow disappears. And as you're exiting the building, you hear a bunch of crashing and wood breaking and a roar.
You never let me have any fun.
I mean, that was your friend who told you not to. He said he didn't want help.
I know, but Flicker says she doesn't want to help all the time, and I help her anyway, and then she tells Mr. G not to let me get in trouble, and he lets me get in trouble, and it always works.
Have you ever been with him when he did
No.
protect the library?
He always gets me out.
All right, well, come on, we'll read some of the book. You got to go to bed though. We got an early morning, man.
Fine, Dad.
I just want to go to sleep.
Okay. Wait, when can we read the book?
Where do you want to go? I'll come read the book to you, Malcolm.
Well, it's huge. You can't read the whole book. How about, okay, since you're such a whiner, you can go home and read the book in bed, and then I'll meet you at 8:30 at this place, and then you can tell me all about the book and the dragons.
Perfect.
Especially about dragons that fight birds.
Okay.
Okay. Giant birds.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, bye.
Bye, Malcolm.
And he runs off.
JP will head home.
Who has the book specifically?
JP.
Okay, just making sure. All right, and so that's the night ending for JP and Malcolm, or does either of them want to do anything else?
No, it's the night ending for me.
I'd probably skim through the book a little bit, but I'm not gonna read it. Try to read a 1,000-page textbook.
Okay.
At 3 a.m.
Okay. All right, so then let's start with montages. Why don't we go with Gephardt first? Do you know what you want to do?
Yeah, he wants to continue working on the object for Flora, and I think the last time we did that was prepare for your next activity. I think that's what we did for the last one. I can't remember what we did for that when we did it the first time, but I know I had to do it one more time.
Say that quite again.
When I remember, I have an activity that I'm working on, a project that I'm working on for Flora, right? And it was a 2-stage project that would take a couple times. I forget what we coined it or what we said it was for the montage.
Prepare for your next action. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too. Prepare for your next activity.
Your next activity.
Yeah, so that's what he wants to do. He wants to finish off the creation that he is doing for Flora.
Okay. And so what does that look like from a montage perspective? And then so essentially you're going to get, you had 3 juice the previous time and then you've got 3 juice this time. I think what we'll do then off screen is we'll have a discussion about the qualities of that story tag and essentially treat it like a danger. If you're creating something specifically for her, we'll create some things for that, and we'll build that. So we'll call that like six juice tags that we'll spend later. But just narratively for right now, let's talk about what that actually means. Like,
Okay, so
what happens?
as we left off, and what we saw before was about the size of 4 to 5 feet tall. A headless quadruped was sitting there wagging its tail without any type of distinctive features yet. It was sort of like a blob. You know, it had 4 legs. It had what appeared to be a tail. Well, Gephardt would continue to work on that, and he would refine and work on the body and the legs and the tail until it became obvious that this was some type of furred creature. And then he would begin working on the attachment for what would be the head of this creature, or in this respect, heads of this creature. And as he is completing each of them to his liking, he is intermittently getting slobbered on and kissed by large wooden tongues that hit his face as he's kind of errantly batting them away as he continues to carve and work the wood of different things. As it appears that I'm going to allow the final reveal to be Flora's, of course, but he has created a creature that would be roughly, while seated, the size of a man, 6 feet tall, and while standing on all fours, slightly smaller, maybe like 5.5 feet tall. Great Danish size.
Okay.
There's no Great Danes. Only mediocre Danes.
This would be a above average Dane.
Okay. Shout out to all the Danes out there.
Like 1500 SAT Dane.
Are you guys done?
Yeah.
That's just terrible.
Yeah, we're done now.
What are you listening to?
What's Gephardt listening to?
Mhm.
The Essential Kenny Loggins. It is, this is one of the rare occasions where he's not listening to a random selection by the 80s on 8. Usually he leaves everything up to the stylings of Alan Hunter and Martha Quinn. But at this particular moment, he's just feeling the KL, and he decides to just put in his compact disc of the Essential Kenny Loggins, which he purchased in Walmart at an end cap, and he allows it to just run and loop and run, and he's feeling it. He's feeling the KL this night. And in fact, after he finishes the creature has a bit of a lift on each of the heads, as if it's feathered back a bit, the fur, and there's a bit of a curl beneath the back ears. But it's good. Meet me halfway across the screen.
Okay. All right. What the? Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right. So that happens. We'll talk about that off screen. I'll wait for him to get done.
No, he'll never be done.
You'll wait forever.
I'll never be done, so just go ahead. I'll stop. I'll just keep it all inside.
You just keep it inside for just a moment, then you can go back to it, okay? So that'll be done. So you do all of that. We'll work between the three of you between the three of us to create the actual danger profile for this creature that you've created for Flora off screen, and then we'll talk about the reveal of it, I guess, next week. Or Flora can describe what it looks like when she actually sees it, but then we'll talk about the actual, when it comes into play. We'll talk about the essentially the mechanics of it next week. All right, great. DP, are you good? You want to go next?
Yeah, do I have time for a montage? Because we have to meet Bjorn in the morning.
Depends on what you want to do with your montage, right? I mean, so you can have the meeting and it can still happen, and it doesn't have to be linear.
Okay.
I just wonder what you would do with the montage if you had it.
Gotcha. So here's the first question. I can't remember if we decided last time that I needed to take another recovery action to fully clear my status, or if we were it was just gonna take time until we had our next montage. Do you remember what we decided on that?
Wait a minute, say that again?
So last session I had a tier 2 status, and I spent my montage to try to get healed. And what we decided was, since like it would take time to recover from like an injury, that it would only go down to 1. But I couldn't remember if we decided I needed to spend another montage to reduce that.
No, you don't need speed in a montage. It would heal eventually. So
Okay.
another good night's sleep would probably heal you at this point, because just based on the way that you described it and the way that we talked about it last week.
All right. In that case, what I would do with my montage would be to probably explore my mythos using this book, but I think that would happen after the meeting.
Okay. You want to explore your mythos with the book. What specifically are you doing? Are you just doing research?
Yeah, so I'm doing research, and the reason why is because JP has a pretty good idea of who the mythos is, even if he doesn't really understand much about the whys and the hows and the reasons behind it all. So he is searching in this dragon textbook for a very specific dragon that is said to have had a interaction with his mythos, because he wants to, if he can find dragons related to that one in the city, he's thinking that they may be able to give him some answers on the reasoning behind his powers. Does that track?
Yeah, I'm without really knowing more about your mythos, I really think that you can do that, but I think that we should have a conversation before we reveal. Like, we should have a conversation off screen about that. So why don't you go ahead and take that action, and we'll say that it happens after the Bjorn meeting, or that montage, and that happens to be after the Bjorn meeting, and then we'll talk about it off screen.
Okay, cool.
And then we'll reveal that next week.
All right, awesome. So I'll just mark the attention, and I'll write down a little bit more about what I'm thinking, so that I don't have to say it and totally reveal it on stream, so that you can. Okay. It works.
All right, Malcolm.
Sorry, there was a question, and I have a massively loud mic. My massively loud keyboard. So for me, I don't think I have a downtime action right now. I'm not injured. I'm not really anything. Let me double check with the montage. So give attention, work the case, explore your mythos, prepare for next activity. I can't prepare because he's got the book. You know what? I am going to give attention. I'm going to give attention to my logos, just a couple friends. And how I'm going to do that is I have been on several adventures without my friends, and I'm going to regale them in the most elaborate and fanciful way, full of imaginatory shadows that move and all kinds of cool things, and tell them my tales about how awesome I am and how okay the rest of the new people are.
Tell us a tale, Malcolm. Tell us a tale.
Okay, so this one time I met this guy named Mr. G, and you guys remember him because he was here. He came to the place, and he was like, I'm a city inspector. And we were like, oh, don't look in here. And he found us anyway, and he was like, oh, it's okay, you're kids. I won't tell anybody. And then he became my friend. And then something bad happened to his family, and I just found out that he killed his family, but it wasn't him that killed his family. It was just someone that looks like him. But that guy's in prison now, I think. But he's fine. And that's okay. And then I became friends with him, and then we were somewhere. Oh, Flickr. She sent us a text message, and he learned how to use a phone. And then we went to the scary, spooky house, and then I passed a guy, and then there was a scary lady there, and there was a guy who's not a ninja there, and he's still not a ninja. It's been 4 days, and you'd think you could be a ninja in 4 days. Who would be? I made 4 ninjas in 1 day. He couldn't be 1 ninja in 4 days. I don't know what his deal is. But anyway, so then we went to the place, and we saw the blinky lights and all the computers, and then we went to the computers, and we took all the information. The information was inside the computers, and we took it out of the computers, and then we found it, and then there's 3 girls that are missing, and we're here to save them, mostly me. They're also helping. And then there was a cat lady who clawed out a guy to death, and then I fought her, and I grabbed her, and I threw her, and then there was a lady with a giant, and she punched her, and then we punched her, and then there was a boy who kissed her, and then, ooh, and everyone makes that noise. And then and then you guys remember that time that Manny came, we tried to fight Manny and all of his friends, but then we had to leave. Well, you guys were there. And then he came here, and he's like, I'm going to rough you up, and then we fought him anyway, and we still beat him up. Great job. He starts giving high fives. And then my friend Johnny came. You guys met Johnny. Remember the time that we met Johnny, and we opened the thing, and he opens the crate, and you can see that there's a hallway that leads to, impossibly long distances. And anyway,
and then pizza there. There's a box of pizza there.
Is there a piece of pizza there?
There is a whole pizza there.
He's my favorite. And he picks up the pizza, and he gave us pizza. And then he said that he was a crow, and then he had a friend who was a scary lady too that also can turn people into crows. And then he fought a dragon. No, he didn't fight a dragon, but there was a larger bird that fought a dragon. And then I found out about dragons. Anyway, I went to the library and got a book on dragons, and now JP, the one who's not a ninja, he's going to find out how to fight dragons. And when one day I'm going to fight a dragon, and you guys are going to help.
And you paid attention to your logos.
Yeah. Yeah, my identity for that logos is we always watch each other's back. So I'm paying attention to my friends and making sure they are mentally and physically healthy. With a pizza and great stories.
With a pizza and great stories. Okay, great. And last but not least, because there was a little behind the scenes things going on, Flora. Tell us what you do with your montage.
After reading something that Mr. G just sent me, I don't know if I want to.
It's too late now.
Okay.
Well, do you want to take a second and think about that? I mean,
Are you telling me why first, Mr. G? Because I'm real scared, Mr. G. Because I have something else I can do if that's not a good idea.
Well, if it's a conversation that should probably happen, behind the scenes.
It's probably a one-line thing as to maybe why not to do that.
Oh, I think that your character would absolutely think to do this.
Fuck. And that's not the answer I want. Then I'm going to do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing it.
This would be something that, for one reason or another, Gephardt hasn't thought about doing.
Okay, fuck it.
I don't think Gephardt even knows that she can do it. That's the thing.
No, absolutely not. She does. She kind of doesn't know that she can do it.
Okay, I want to set something up here. We're talking about it, but not talking about it. But I'm going to say this right now. If I can answer it, I will. I may throw it over to Greg if it's relevant to the characterization of it versus it being a fact or a clue or something that I should be answering. If it's more of a characterization, I definitely think it's more in his realm to answer in the voice of that circumstance.
Yeah.
Are you good with that?
Is he okay with? Are you okay with that?
Okay. All right. Great. Then
that's all.
Okay. That's all. Then I have zero issue moving forward with this. So go ahead. Describe to us what you want to do.
So I'm going to be doing a montage for Work the Case. The way that this is going to go down is she's going to leave the restaurant knowing that all of these dreams she's had, she's going to be a little bit closer to, if not answers, maybe something substantial. Having this toy, I guess, if you will, her dreams made real to be able to maybe understand it. So she feels like he's doing a lot for her, and she now knows that Detective Roth is not a good, reliable source or at least not, maybe he's looking at her funny and maybe she shouldn't investigate that. So she wants to help out a different way, if she can, to investigate this, the case of his family. So she is going to go, since she had the case files, she would know where the murder occurred. And she's going to go there.
Okay.
She's going to go there, and you guys would see her if you were like above her, you would just see her laying out a sort of like a small sheet with different. She would put her coroner's kit down. She would put all her stuff down and kind of start spreading things out. She does have that little bird that he gave her, which is the personal item she's going to be using as she tries to contact his dead wife.
Why the house, or Gephardt? Where was she murdered?
In the family home.
In an abandoned home.
Yeah, or presently vacant would probably be. No one wants to buy it.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They lived in the suburbs of the blue collar district, right?
Right.
Okay. So, Flora, before we get really into this, why the home?
She knows where. So, her fascination with working in the morgue and everything is talking to the spirits as they pass on. If they haven't left the body yet, by the time they get there, it's part of her job, or part of what she feels like is her responsibility. Just equal parts taking care of the soul as taking care of the body, which is why she talks to them and, keeps them comfortable as best she can. So she wants to go to the last place. She knows that the body's in a graveyard, and oh boy, she knows she can't go there. So this was the next best option for her.
Okay, but you speak to the bodies, you speak to the vessels with the souls contained in them, right?
No.
That was my understanding of the way that the ability in the tag worked.
The tag works. The only reason that it would be specifically in the morgue is because it's fresh out of the body, and that's where the bodies are if they don't know where to go, because they're in shock. So her thing would be, yeah, you're dead. Her thought process is, whether it's right or wrong, because she doesn't really do this often, like hunt down spirits, whatever, is if the wife wanted to get a message to him or anything, or was confused or didn't know where to go, or was in essence trapped, she would be here.
Okay.
Whether it works or not is a different story.
So I get that. The question, it's going to work in the sense that you're working the case here, right? You're taking an opportunity to work the case that is the Gephardt, right?
Okay.
Well, no, I'm clarifying because that's the montage you're doing.
Yes, I'm trying to work the case of if I can ask her, it's going to be, who killed you, or can you lead me to a clue, or can you help me with any of it? She's working the case for Gephardt.
No, I understand that. So there's no question of failure that you're not going to get a clue. You're going to be able to ask a question, and I'm going to answer it for you, or Gephardt's going to answer it for you, if it's depending upon the question, right? Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of the montage. It's like you taking the time to actually do something, whether it's heal, whether it's work the case, whether it's explore your mythos, whether it's pay attention to your logos. Those elements have no element of failure.
Okay.
So that's the challenge is, in my head, the challenge is, depending upon your question and how you want to go about this, the answer, the answer may not be essentially obvious. If you're looking to contact his wife based on this ritual,
it could be his wife, it could be his child, it could be someone who died in the vicinity and would know anything. It's maybe someone else who was killed because they found out who it was, or someone who has an ID. It could be anyone. She doesn't know who's answering. She doesn't see the spirits. She looks off and talks to people because she could tell directionally from hearing them where they're standing in the room. So she's never met his wife before. So she doesn't know who's going to answer. The way she's going to broach the subject is, is anyone here, and can anyone answer my questions about the death of, and then, So how it plays out is not.
Okay. All right. I wanted to clarify it so I understood. Okay. So tell us about the ritual. Tell us about what you do to actually perform this ritual.
So she would, based on looking at the crime scene pictures, whatever, she would know about where the body was. She would be in that room about a foot away from it with one of Mr. G's belongings. Usually a personal item of like a loved one, and then like obviously where it happened is, and she would just be lighting candles in the room, and she would just be sitting there. It would kind of look like it did when she sat with her hands crossed with her eyes closed, where she's almost in a meditative state.
Okay, and what does she see in her head as, or what is she imagining or envisioning, or what is she seeing from her dreams as she's doing this?
Yeah, from her dreams, she would start to imagine a sort of gate. And then floating above this gate is the rest of the world. And she would imagine all of these, what she imagines spirits to look like is what she thinks. It's blue or, whatever color of people walking. And half of the people, or a little bit less than half the people, are a different shade. They're spirits. And so when she has these dreams with the item that Mr. G is making for her, it's down in this lower plane. And she's sitting on the surface, and she looks up, and it's like when you stare directly into a lamp and it's blinding. So she tries not to look up. And so now she's kind of sitting, imagining herself in the house and looking around that area to see if she sees anything other than her own, soul.
So just to clarify the vision, just so I understand what happens next, are you talking about looking into the gates of hell or the underworld?
She sees people who are supposed to have passed to what she believes is, type of.
Well,
it's,
right.
It's her dreams, so she doesn't know is kind of the answer.
No, I understand. But what I'm looking for is, because there's one or two things that I think could happen, right? The spirits that haven't passed on would definitely be loitering outside of the gate. The spirits that have passed on might return to the gate itself. They may not be able to pass beyond, but giving you an opportunity to communicate there with them. Again, this is all happening in Flora's head, because this is built on top of the dreams that have been plaguing her for so long.
Yeah. The way that it would look is like it's out of her body, and she's almost scanning the city. And she could still see what lies under the city. She could see the gate, but she's not going specifically there, because she could see other spirits that haven't passed down there yet. She's trying to use this item to draw that person to her.
Okay. She's
trying to pull them. So, like, in her mind, at least, if they're already passed on and they're already moved on or whatever, then that's fine. Like, she can't do anything about that. But if she could draw this person to her because they haven't passed on yet, because maybe they'll be like, oh, that's someone trying to reach me about my husband. Like, that familiar feeling.
Okay, so you aren't able to contact his wife directly or his kids, because they have been given a proper burial. They have been allowed to move on. But you do get something else. You get a witness to the situation. Someone who else was there who hasn't passed on yet. Something you can't quite get a sense for how this person knows what was going on, but you know that there is something troubling them that won't allow them. They've got a message they need to convey. They were there in the house, if not right at the time that it happened, maybe right prior, and they witnessed something. And it is this overwhelming just sense of guilt as it's beginning to happen. This spirit knew the Gephardt family. They knew the kids. They knew the wife. They knew Gephardt. And as this is all sort of just kind of overwhelming you, this shape kind of coalesces into your mind as the spirit kind of comes to you, right? It comes to you as you're calling out, you're exploring, you're looking for this information. Now, Greg, do you want to describe who this person is, or do you want me to? And then you're going to give the ultimate. You're going to communicate what we've talked about privately. Do you want to describe this?
Technically, as described, you wouldn't be able to see this person. You'd be able to hear where they were coming from. Correct?
She'd see a spirit, but has no face. It's just...
you wouldn't be a completely detailed, but there will be some features that you would might vaguely be able to pick out from that. So it's really on you to be able to describe as much or as little as there, and then it's the message that's important.
Okay, so this apparition that would appear, this spirit form, would be completely featureless. It would not have, you couldn't tell size, age, gender, anything about it whatsoever. It would even be more, as Flora would be accustomed to this, it would be even less defined than the things that she has done before, as if it is being purposely clouded in a way. And you would realize right away that it can't speak, even though it's trying to. It doesn't have a mouth, and its hands, if you would call them that, are more mist than form. So you can see it kind of gesturing and like moving back and forth as if it's trying to say something, but it can't get anything out. Nothing that you can make up as far as words. You can hear whistles and just the rustling of wind and a soft gale that kind of ushers through the area and picks up some dust in the house. But as you continue to watch, that same dust that catches the eye of this spirit, and you see it go over to the floor, and it paws at the dust, and you see it kind of lift a bit as it reacts with the physical world, and it drops into this dusty area and begins to meticulously rub and stroke and begin to fashion something in this dust. And when Johnny, do you want me to continue?
Please keep going.
And as it falls on this collected dirt and residue of a family, that all that remains of the Caparellis, it works and works much like a potter would on the wheel, or an artist would on the canvas, and it works for 15, 20, 30 minutes because it's barely able to affect this physical world, as it's just moving bits and motes each time it moves this dust. And finally it stands up and looks down as if proud of its work. And you feel, or you sense, it begin to look around as a wind begins to pick up and the dust begins to move, its creation, its work, as both the dust that has been fashioned and the spirit itself begins to dissipate as if it is being sent away without your permission. What it has been working on the floor is one word as it's getting blown away in front of you, and it says, fairy.
No way.
As it moves away and she feels sort of a disruption, her head will fly back as if she's laying flat on the floor, almost like possessed, and her eyes will open and she's out of breath. And she'll wait there until she can regain her composure. And then she'll leave and go home. And she'll text Mr. G one word as she lays down and goes to sleep.
Wait, you text him that word? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I respond to it?
Sure.
Mr. G would look down at the phone and realize he received a text with nothing in it. This isn't working. This isn't working. He does not see the word.
I shouldn't have let Malcolm touch my phone. It just makes noises at random now.
She'll lay down and go to sleep.
And that will be Flora's montage.
How did I get charged for a video game? I don't even play video games. What is this? Who spends $2 on Snake?
What is these sideburns?
What is an in-app purchase? What is an app? How do I get in it?
What's a dilk? DLC dilk. What does that mean?
Okay, gentlemen. Okay, children. It is now the morning of the 5th day. It is Sunday. JP, Malcolm, did you get up?
Yes.
As you look outside towards the waterfront, towards the old quarter, there is a storm brewing out to sea, and it is heading inland. And as you're listening to the news reports on the radio and the television or whatever, you hear a conversation going on that there is a large storm brewing and that people should take care when they are outside, because the storm is going to be massive and it's going to be lightning and there's going to be lots of heavy wind and rain. How do you want to proceed, guys?
I'm going to Acer Industries to meet there at 8 o'clock or at 8:30 because Malcolm said he'd be there.
Malcolm's there.
I'll wear my suit because I'm meeting with a fancy businessman.
Malcolm's there.
Did Malcolm sleep?
No. Sleep is for adults and nerds and pirates.
Your smart suit, JP, it's more of a evening kind of a thing, isn't it? It looks a little too flashy for the daytime, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. But it's his only nice clothes.
Okay.
Actually, no. He would probably just wear like dress pants and a dress shirt. He wouldn't wear the suit. Doesn't make sense. He would have to have dress shirts. So yeah. But he definitely has a backpack because he has the book on him. He promised the librarian that he wouldn't lose the book, so he's not taking his eye off it.
Okay. And so when you arrive at Acer Industries, you walk inside, and there's a young woman at the desk, at the entrance, and then there's a bunch of people kind of moving into the building as the business day has begun. It's 8 o'clock in the morning.
I approach the receptionist and I hand him the little card and I say, Malcolm K and John Paul Tien to see Mr. Bjorn.
Do you have an appointment? I don't see anything on Mr. Bjorn's schedule.
I was told to give you the card. We're an off book type meeting. He said he'd slip us in.
Card, and he looks down at the card and he kind of looks. And he hands it back to you. Give me just a moment. And the young woman gets on the phone.
Tell him it's about dragons.
No. Okay.
Say no?
I can have you wait over there by the elevators. One of Mr. Bjorn's associates will be down to bring you up to his office.
Perfect.
As you see all of this going on, as you see the hustle and bustle of everybody coming in, it's a normal business day. These people are definitely coming in to do work. Occasionally, you see people who you don't necessarily think really belong there, and that characterization comes by the fact that you a couple of times. You see people who are not in business attire. They're wearing either gym clothes, or they're wearing very casual street clothes. Or there's one woman that comes in that's dressed as if she's going out to a club, at night. But for the most part, you see the business, folks. And then out of the elevator, you hear a ding, door opens, an associate of Mr. Bjorn walks up to you, and he's quite a gigantic guy, 6'4", big and bulky, wearing a nice suit, clearly, spends a lot of time lifting weights. Are you John Paul? Is this Malcolm?
Yep. You can call me JP if you prefer.
Please come this way. And they escort you to a private elevator. And you slowly begin to rise in the elevator.
You want a piece of pizza?
It's 8:30 in the morning, Malcolm.
You wanted to bring a healthy snack, and I wasn't talking to you because healthy snacks are for nerds. Hey, do you want a piece of pizza?
No, thank you, sir.
I brought 3.
No, thank you, sir.
I did bring you a healthy snack, by the way. Pulls out a banana.
Bananas are for monkeys. I'm a boy.
JP will eat the banana.
Here you go, JP. Have your banana. Ding. After what seems like a minute, you feel the elevator stop, doors open. You're in an entryway to quite a large room. It's about 2 to 3 stories, all in respect to its openness. You see a desk all the way at the far side of the room, and there are various implements and apparatus of what looks to be like a gym setting. There are, weights. There are, different types of, workout machines. There's a treadmill. There's an elliptical. There's a stair machine. You see, medicine balls. You see all kinds of things on this side of the room. As you are walked into the room, you see more and more office attire. There's a couch. There's a bar. There's a media center, right? And you can see behind the desk, Harold Bjorn, over some documents, kind of, and you can see one other gentleman kind of off to the side who is another associate, clearly of the same ilk, disposition, big, bulky, just kind of, hanging out and kind of looking out the window and kind of assessing the room as the two of you come in with the first associate. And he steps up. The associate steps up to the desk, just a couple of feet from the desk, and motions to both of you to just hold on, and waits for Mr. Bjorn to acknowledge him. After about 30 seconds of just kind of signing some stuff, he pushes some things forward in front of him, puts his pen down, and kind of looks up. And he looks to JP, and then he looks to Malcolm, and he motions to his associate to move off to the side.
You want a piece of pizza? I brought 3.
Where'd you get the pizza from?
My friend Johnny gave me pizza. He's a pretty cool guy.
That tells me who gave it to you. Where did you get the pizza from?
I don't understand.
Who made the pizza?
Oh, Stormy's.
Oh, yeah. I would absolutely love a slice of Stormy's pizza. Can you heat this up for me? And he hands it off to the associate who goes off.
Told you bananas are for nerds.
We appreciate you taking the time to see us today.
My father was quite insistent that you wanted to speak to me, so I'm giving you 10 minutes.
Yes, actually, I'm JP. We met once before. You kicked me out of the VIP section of Xanadu the other day. This is...
I did not kick anybody out. That was probably one of my associates here. He looks over at the other guy who's not currently microwaving his pizza.
Request is the best part.
Well, I get it. Doesn't really matter. And this is Malcolm. We're hoping to get a little information. Your name keeps coming up, and we're looking into something, and I don't know. I'm hoping you can shed some light on some things for us.
I'm a pretty popular guy, and I currently run one of the top corporations in the city, so of course my name would be coming up all over the place. Can you speak specifically to what you are talking about there?
The disappearance of the Dare sisters.
They still haven't been found?
Unfortunately, they have not.
No, that's interesting. No, I don't know anything about that. The police coming back and talking to me. One specific detective by the name of Derek Roth, I believe, I was at the event where she supposedly disappeared. Are you with the police?
I am not with the police. I'm you could call me like a private investigator, I suppose.
Do you have a license?
It's in process. They're processing
Do you have
it.
any paperwork to prove that you're in process? Is there an organization that you're associated with?
Excuse me, Mr. Harold, sir. I am a child, and I work... No, sorry, wait, go back. I am Malcolm Xanadu, and I own Xanadu, and your dad works for me. And your dad said, hey, I like the Derry sisters. Can you look into their disappearance? And I said, sure, I'll get my best man on it. And he was busy, so I grabbed JP.
Yes, that is what happened. You know, we just want to make sure that these nice ladies get home safe, and you know, I'm sure you've answered a lot of questions. You know, I'm not. We're not, you know, trying to do too much, but we heard your daughter may have disappeared the same night.
My daughter? I'm sorry. I don't have any children.
Maybe
The Trixie.
maybe my info's bad.
What are you talking about my sister for?
That's what I said. See, sister.
Well, your sister seems to have disappeared, and she was seen with one of the missing.
What my
Derrys.
sister chooses to do and where my sister chooses to go is none of my concern. She is a pain in my... And he stops himself as he realizes he was going to say something incredibly couth.
So
She refuses to do her job here at the company, so I'm forced to make other arrangements.
What's her
I-
job?
She's the chief marketing officer for the corporation. Would you like to see the portfolio of our information to add to your investigation? It's all information that you can
That
actually
sounds
get on the internet.
super boring.
so
I
you
agree.
when was
Thank you for my pizza. And he begins to eat the slice.
Crust is the best part.
when was the last time you saw your sister?
Thinks about it. It's been over a week now. I don't know. She disappeared last week and said something about going on some trip, and we haven't seen her since. And this is not uncommon. I'm usually having to have somebody fill in for her responsibilities here. She's quite a troublemaker.
I see.
Is it true that your dad has seen dragons in the city? He asks with all of the authority of a detective.
My father has been humoring children and telling tales again, I see. There are no such things as dragons, young man.
See, I have two people that said there are, and one person that says there isn't. Two is more than one.
My father was one of them, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And you are a child, aren't you?
Yes.
My point exactly.
The dragons aside, let me speak plainly, Mr. Bjorn. We're here to help. You know, there's been some stirrings in regards to your acquisition upcoming, and people are talking about how you, and please don't shoot the messenger, but people are questioning who benefits the most from this disappearance.
So let me be clear. Let me sure I understand you here. You're here to at my father's request, and he looks over at Malcolm, to investigate the disappearance of the three sisters that currently run a rival corporation in the city, who are beloved And you're here to ask me these questions because you think I would benefit most from their disappearance based on hearsay and rumor?
I am merely attempting to help Azer Industries succeed. You know how
Are you a shareholder?
I am not, but I'm
How does helping us offer you any benefit? Because essentially it's an exchange of some kind. Am I wrong?
You could think about me as kind of like Malcolm as like a private contractor per se. We want to make sure that this merger, this goes through, and with this talk going around, I'm thinking that if we talk, we sit down and we go through it, I'll be able to present a good case to help exonerate you and make sure this goes smoothly.
Am I under scrutiny by a legal authority or by some punk who happens to be listening to a child who has been listening to my father who loves to tell fantastic tales to children?
I want to be very clear, Mr. Bjorn. I am not accusing you of anything. I am merely telling you the word around town, and you know how fragile these sort of things can be. I am here to help.
Acer Industries has been around for an incredibly long time. Before me, my father ran it for a long, long time, and it did well. It survived. And I don't think, in fact, I would almost guarantee that I am secure in my position here. So unless you have something to offer factually otherwise, I think you are trying to shake me down for something, sir. And the fact that my father listened to you tells me that it was a good reason or a good idea that he actually stepped down. He's been senile for years anyways. Fanciful ideas.
Now listen to me, Mr. Bjorn, if that is your real name. I have
his real name.
2 questions for you. 1, do you want the last slice of pizza?
As he's going through the cross. Well, if you're not eating it.
2,
He hands it over to his associates.
what would make 4 ladies? 3 of them are sisters, and the other one is also a different sister. Want to run away from the city.
I feel like I want a conventional
Okay.
game, but I think it's a combination kind of a thing where it's the rational nature of JP trying to be a good guy detective and Malcolm just being ridiculous.
It's a strategy called good cop, crazy cop.
Oh, golly.
Is there a top sidekick kid, or but that works too.
Okay, so...
So the way that technically there are no assists in the book.
Yeah.
The way that it has been done, whenever there's going to be an assist before, is we'll apply the role will go to the person who's doing the crazy. In this particular case, I think Malcolm just spouted crazy. He should roll. He'll apply crazy power tags. JP will apply rational power tags. We're not going to put a limit on them. I am going to deploy a couple of weaknesses though in both your character sheets. So
Cool.
once you guys decide on power tags, and then we'll talk about 2 weaknesses coming into play.
Cool. So I'm using the power tag. Everything is a game. Every scam in the book. And Stormy's pizza.
How is Story's Pizza a power tag? That's a story tag.
It's a story tag. And I bribed him with pizza.
Damn it. All right, fine. Fuck off. I hate you so much.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
All right, I only have Earnest and Simple and Will of Iron. Just because the Will of Iron, I think, plays in just because he's like so... it's hard to deter JP. And the Earnest and Simple comes in because it's like, really, if this guy wasn't telling the truth, like, he would be really bad at his job.
Okay. So the two weaknesses that are going to come into play, one from each of you. From JP, it's definitely going to be naive. Because he's clearly missing some of the nuances of the situation as Mr. Bjorn is trying to communicate with him. He's missing the subtlety of it.
Sure.
For Malcolm, one of two things comes into play. It's either can't tell adults from pirates, or it's constant troublemakers.
So constant troublemakers is typically for his friends. So I would argue for can't tell adults from pirates, but then that would change this a little bit. In that, if that's the case, if that's the weakness that he has right now, his approach would have been a little bit more forceful, and I would add the tag because of his forceful nature. We kill pirates. So this goes from a convince to an intimidate, essentially.
Convince is the same. I mean,
It's the same. It's the same role, but like narratively speaking,
role.
it goes from like a plucky child to like this is like an angry child. I mean, he's a child nonetheless, but it's
right. But he's gladly accepting your pizza,
Mm-hmm.
so he's clearly not 100% a pirate. So the fact that you can't tell that he's a pirate or not, and
Okay.
the way you were interacting with
Okay.
him,
I dig it.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
just,
that makes sense.
If you had played it off more like, oh yeah, this guy's definitely a pirate, going into the scene that way.
Yep.
then yeah,
Nope, that
Okay.
makes total sense. Cool. So I'm gonna roll convince,
and you're gonna fail.
and I'm gonna roll a great success. Suck it, Johnny. I'm the best around. No one's ever gonna keep me down because I'm the best around. Oh, what is
Malcolm's question again?
well? What does Sam have to roll, or what does JP have to roll?
JP,
I helped you.
you helped. He helped.
Oh, did you?
Right, you would have added power tags.
Oh, so that would be a +1 power tag. It'd be 3.
Yep.
Choose to take a relevant status of your choice with tier equal to power, or update their agenda to include yours.
Yep.
He gets the power tag, Believer 3.
I don't want to play this game anymore. Okay.
As I was saying, Mr. Bjorn,
Ask the question again.
the question was, do you want a slice of pizza? And then the follow-up question was, what would make 4 ladies, 3 of whom are sisters, one of whom is also a different sister, want to leave the city?
All on the same night.
On the same night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, you don't know that Trixie left, or Trisha left on the same night.
I know that she left with Megan. That's all I know. So I would assume that.
You do know
because
that-
Malcolm's
you do
not
know
smart
that-
enough to assume otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he would say it regardless. He's not smart enough to assume otherwise.
Okay. So, before he answers, you've given him a temporary status of Believer 3. What is he believing, Malcolm?
Actually, you know what? So Believer 1 was the one we've given everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to level up as you level up tiers, right? You have to change the
Sure.
status tag. It's not Believer 3. It's Lost Boy 3. He believes that Malcolm is what he says. Malcolm stands there, and he takes the staunch appearance of, like, a hatted detective. And, like, the whole room takes on, like, a noir feel, where, like, it's pseudo black and white, and you can see the light coming in through the slats in the window as it, like, scans over his face, and he looks like a serious detective, albeit standing in Peter Pan's pose.
There's a typewriter in the background.
Yeah, it just appears there, because he saw it in one of Mr. G's old posters.
Little jazz music.
Yeah.
Some, the lighting has gotten a little darker, a little dimmer. There's the 2 bodyguards that are essentially in the room. They go from being just, normal muscle bound to associates to very,
In the suits, and they have the cross arms like this. And it's a falcon made out of chocolate because he doesn't know what Maltese is, but he figured out what malt was.
the world changes for both Malcolm and Mr. Bjorn, even though. Quick question: would that affect JP at all?
I don't know. Since he helped me, yeah, but his would be believer one, if anything. If he has a tag on him, it'd be believer one. So he can start to see it, but he's not like affected. Like he still understands who Malcolm is. He just sees these weird projections take over. Like it seamlessly integrates from what it was to like the fact where you're like, was that always there? Was there a typewriter? Is that a chocolate fountain?
All of a sudden, I have like a whiskey in my hand. I'm like, wait a minute.
Your suit is slightly nicer.
So, and his voice changes a little bit. So, what makes you think they left town, eh?
Now, the way I sees it is that we had one sister, she got taken by your sister. And then another sister, she got taken by the bad guys, see?
Whoa. What do you mean she got taken by my sister? What are you talking about?
I have it on good authority that your sister, Trixie, she took the Megan lady.
Who's feeding you? Who's the rat? Who's the rat who's
Listen here, this is my town and I ask the questions.
But I run this town. I see these boys. These are my boys. Come on.
You best be careful to cross Mr. Xanadu, see?
Okay. I don't need the rough stuff. I remember what happened last time. God. What makes you think they left town, though? I mean, nobody ever leaves this town. Nobody goes anywhere, no way, or no how.
Well, I have it on good authority from a young man that I beat up myself that one of the sisters got taken away by the bad guys, and she paid him monies to do it. Clams. But really monies. What?
Like a bag of money?
I mean, how else do you carry money?
Oh, I got some money in my pocket right here.
It was 3 X's on the bag. Typical money carrying bag.
I did not know that.
Well, now's you do.
Oh. Well...
And I heard that the other sister's missing too, and I think that she ran away also. And then your sister also ran away with another sister, making that 4 sisters.
You see him starting to sweat a little bit. Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I really don't. It's.
Now see here, bub. If you just answer the Mr. Xanadu's questions, nothing bad is gonna happen.
I did. But none of them left town, as far as I know. None of them. It's not happening.
Well, the question was, what would make them want to leave town? He bangs on his desk.
You see him sweating more. I had a meeting with one of them sisters, the Phoebe girl. Yeah, that's it. We were at that gala, that Hollywood logo type, that Tinseltown logo type up there on the hill. It was. I was trying to convince her to I don't really need to tell you about that, do I?
I'm thinkins you do. Thinkins?
I don't want her taking the job. See, she can't have the job. See, it's my job. See, it's important to me.
Well, this is your job here running Acer Industries. What kind of job would you want her to not take?
Oh, that's that leadership position in the Walker gang. Yeah, taking over their territory. Them walkers, they've been giving me trouble for a long time. Now that they're all dead, I'm gonna take over their territory. So we're gonna move in and strong arm and make it mine.
But if she wanted to take over and you said no, what would make her want to run away?
I might have threatened her a little. Let her know that she didn't do what I asked. She might get some lead feet.
I think you mean cement shoes. That's okay.
Whatever. Shut up.
That's why you're bad at this.
And were yous about to make good on this threat yourself? Or do you have some co-conspirators?
I don't know what you're talking about. No. As the imagination, the imagery begins to kind of shimmer a little bit. No, I don't do the dirty work anymore unless it involves a little strong arm work. For that kind of dirty stuff, yeah, I usually contract out. See, I don't like to kill him anymore. See,
Johnny, I'm gonna roll a change the game here to create something. Because you said he's sweaty, right?
Oh yeah, he's getting very, very sweaty. At this
Okay,
point.
so I'm going to roll a change the game to create an object that that will make him both sweatier and less sweaty. I'm going to use I think I'm going to use every scam in the book, everything's a game, and imagine things to life. Unless you have any other things to put against that. Also, I would assume Believer works? Or Lost Boy? I don't know how that works, though.
A negative status affects their rolls. It doesn't it helps you take them out. It doesn't
Gotcha.
help your roll.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if there is a negative, if there's a weakness that applies here in this particular case. Here, let me look at your character sheet again, based on the way that the scene is going. How does stress and negative emotions work in Malcolm's head for weakness?
I think that this is... So, stress and negative emotions was what happened with Siobhan, right? Things were not going his way, and things weren't going his friend's way. This looks like everything's kind of coming up Malcolm.
Yes, I know. Okay. All right, so go ahead and roll it. Just roll it straight up.
Sweet. So I'm going to change the game.
Jesus.
I think I broke it.
Huh?
Your rolls are unbelievable.
I think I broke the game. Okay, so I'm going to create and summon a new object.
Okay. Is it a Maltese Falcon?
It's not. It's a gun. But what he doesn't know is that because it's Malcolm, it's a squirt gun. It just looks like a real gun.
Is it a squirt Tommy gun?
No, it's a squirt like a 6-shooter, right? Like a cop's pistol. And he leans.
I was kind of actually hoping it was like a Tommy gun that actually shot pies.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll create two, and a squirt Tommy gun appears in JP's hands to his shock. And I lean forward, and I think I'll just take one juice for now. Yeah, right? That's all I think I can take. Or you know what? I'll add a temporary tag to him, so he has afraid 1, right? And I lean forward and place the gun down and say, "Now, you see here, you're looking a little sweaty. Sounds like you're hiding something." And he has the gun on the table with his hand on it. This is the most ridiculous.
Look here.
What you talking about? This has gone a little too far. I'm gonna have to call my boys, and they're gonna have to manhandle you and wrangle you and throw you out, maybe out the window.
Bjorn,
Oh,
we can help you here. We want to help you.
help me do what?
Help me help you. You just got to give us a name.
A name for what?
Who's doing the dirty work?
You co-conspirators.
Did you say it that way?
He looks to JP to make sure he's saying that word right.
It's the right word.
You co-conspirators.
Yeah, Samuel will kill me. Oh my god!
And we'll leave your name out of it.
I can't believe I said that. I'm not saying anything else. You got to get out of here, or else I'm going to have my boys rough you up.
That's fine. I know Samuel. And then he picks up the gun and points it at him, and he squirts him in the face, and then the shimmer fades. He says, I'm going to go talk to Manny and his dad.
We appreciate your time today, Mr. Bjorn, and
Not just quite yet, sir.
I'll tell Johnny that you loved his pizza.
And he stands up slowly. What was that?
how high is this building?
What was what?
100 stories.
I asked
Are
you a
there-
few questions, and you answered them.
Are there any buildings about that height anywhere
couple.
around?
There are a couple, not close, but there are a couple that are of that height. The next closest building that has any type of relative height is about 80 stories.
Okay. While Malcolm goes to try to explain himself. Actually, I'm gonna wait a second. So Malcolm, he asked what Malcolm did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just says, I asked you some questions. I'm a detective now. Always, I'm a detective.
Do you remember that I said that I like the rough stuff? And you hear his knuckles crack.
I grab Malcolm by the collar, jump out the window, and onto the nearest building.
Is this a take a risk? Is this
Yeah,
face
that,
danger?
or maybe face danger.
Or is this a change the game?
If I can pick, I'll take face danger because that move is dynamite for me.
Well, he hasn't
Why is
struck
it-
you. Because he leveled it.
Because I
you're
maxed
right,
out
you-
attention. So
Sorry,
I,
max attention there.
He hasn't attacked us yet, so just threatening us. I kind of
So
want to see you take the risk.
So if you face danger, something else is going to happen before that. But he's moving towards Malcolm at this point. So are you going to face danger, or are you going to take a risk?
I'll take a risk. I don't want Malcolm to get hurt. That's the most important thing.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, tags that are relevant here. I think Body Like a Mountain is going to help me upon impact when I jump down 20 stories.
Okay.
I think High Flying Leaps helps because that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
I think Supernatural Strength helps me bust through the windows and also carry Malcolm.
Okay.
I think Acrobatics helps because this is definitely an acrobatic maneuver.
Okay.
I think I think trickery and pranks might work here. I don't think this guy's expecting me to jump out his window.
I don't think this is trickery or a prank, though. This
Okay. Yeah, you're right. How about Will of Iron? It takes some pretty big stones to jump out a 100-story building.
That's currently 5 tags. If I give you Will of Iron, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I'm really hoping not to die here. Is what it goes down.
All right.
I won't take it if you don't think so.
Well, you can.
Okay.
But I'm going to throw naive at you.
All right, and then I'm gonna throw pride at myself, because of course JP assumes that he'll be fine if he just jumps out this window.
Okay. All right.
Alrighty. Total power 2. And take a risk.
Okay. It's going to get ugly. So. The hard bargain is that you're going to be able to get out. But Malcolm is going to take a status effect because he's going to get hurt. Because he wasn't expecting it, and catching Malcolm off guard when it's not Malcolm catching, when Malcolm doing it, Malcolm's imagination or whatever, he can get hurt. So he will take a status tag of some kind. Or here's your ugly choice. You can break through the window, but get caught. And so it's going to make it, you're going to have to do face danger to survive the fall. Or you can break the window, but you're not going to get out at all.
So, if I break through the window but don't get out, does Malcolm get out?
Are you throwing him out the window? Are you busting through and you get pulled back and you throw him out anyways?
Well, I have no idea that Malcolm would be able to survive that, so probably not. So I'll probably take that. I bust through the window, but I have to take impact on the landing because I'm trying to like basically use my body to shield Malcolm so that he doesn't take the brunt of the impact. Oh, you're muted.
Cries of frustration. Thanks for that, Mike. I appreciate it.
No problem, buddy.
So you bust through, right? You go smashing through, and you hear cries of frustration from behind you. You bust through, and you start to fall, but you realize that the arc, you're not going to land effectively on the, you're not going to land on the next building that you see down there, right? And so, as that's happening, you hear a crack of lightning in the back, or a crack of lightning and some thunder in the background. You look out in the distance as you're beginning to fall. You see that the storm is rolling in and it's moving closer than you have expected it to. Malcolm, JP, you are falling. What are you going to do?
Can I roll?
You got 100 stories to fall.
Change the game?
You've got 100 stories to fall. You can either change the game or face danger.
I think I'm going to change the game. Do we have any negative statuses right now?
You're falling.
Okay, cool.
So
I'm going to hit myself with stress and negative emotions. I'm going to roll change the game with flight, uncanny parkour, shadow manipulation, and everything's a game? That's the only one I'm not sure about.
Hold on, I'm looking. So let me make sure I got this. Flight, uncanny parkour, shadow manipulation, everything is a game.
And I'm hitting myself with stress and negative emotions.
And you're also applying the falling.
Is falling a negative? What is the negative? Is it minus one?
It's a tier 1.
It's what?
It's a tier 1, and you're starting to fall.
Yep. So I'll put that on there.
Okay, roll it.
Cool. So, right? That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, cool. Change the game. 8. Success.
But you have no juice.
How do I have no juice?
You rolled with a 0 power.
That's not right. Because I have
That's not right.
Yeah, I have four pluses and 2 minuses, so I should have a +2 there.
You
I'm
should
not
have
sure.
2 juice.
Yeah, I should have 2 juice.
You have 2 juice. So go ahead and.
Okay, cool.
Well,
So
then wouldn't it be a 10 though?
it would
It would be a 10.
it would be a 10.
Which would make it a great success, which means that you would have 3 juice.
That's so weird. Why did it roll that way?
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Anyway,
Because it's the wonky roll 20 fucking character sheet.
yeah. So I would have how many juice again? I'm sorry. Actually, I'll just look up at change the previous great success.
You would have 3. My mistake.
Okay, cool. So I'll look at the previous change the game. So I'm going to add a temporary tag to one character, which is flight. You have flight 1.
Okay.
And I am going to... Well, actually, you know what? That's not true. So I'm going to remove 1 tier from both of our statuses. We're no longer falling. We are both currently being held aloft by Malcolm, and Shadow Malcolm is holding you up. Both of them are holding you up. So you basically, if you're paying attention, not panicking, you would see like 2 instances of Malcolm kind of holding you up as you are now flying 100 feet or 100 floors, which is like 1,000 feet above the city. And then for the third one, do I have to prolong this to make sure we land safely?
It's a temporary thing in the scene. So
Okay. Then what I want to do is hide the effect so that we don't land on the street. We land somewhere safe that no one sees a child flying a giant man or a regular-sized man. So since we're 1,000 feet in the air, I want to land on a building so that we don't land in a crowded street of downtown city, of downtown Metropolis.
Okay, so you float down to that 80-story building. Can you describe the effect or what it looks like as you just kind of stop and then float gently down. What that looks like, what would we see? Is there anything miraculous? Is there anything fantastic about it?
Yeah, so I think we'd see JP like grab Malcolm and just bull rush the window, and then you see like the panic set in where this did not go as planned, and he's trying to figure out how to fix this. And you see him like grab Malcolm, but Malcolm uses his sweet parkour skills to squeeze out of JP's hold and kind of scampers onto JP's back, like some MMA stuff, and grabs him by the arms of his shirt, and then Shadow Malcolm also does the same thing, like on the other side, and there's now like 4 hands grabbing him, and JP would feel that jerk as if something grabbed him from above, and then you would see anyone looking. So I guess like Bjorn might see that happen, and then you would see like gold dust trailing behind them.
And how long does the descent take to get to that next roof?
I mean, a casual jaunt over there. I'm not sure how long flight takes, but I mean, obviously we wouldn't want to smash into the roof, so long enough where we can land comfortably and gracefully.
Is it a quick thing, or is it just sort of like you're just floating down?
It's not like a Mary Poppins, but it's like we slowly glide in there and land without like eating shit.
Lightning cracks again, and the thunder begins to roll as there is more of a localized storm above you. And you look up as you kind of see it all, and you're going, wow, that's crazy. And then you see Harold moving towards you, flying straight at you with a hammer in his hand.
Oh, fuck.
And that's where we're going to end it.
Boom! JP fights! JP fights!
Oh, that's good.
I like how, like, everyone is out to protect Malcolm, but Malcolm has consecutively kicked ass in every combat we've been in. we have to defend the child.
Into that trouble every single
time. Every time.
I did also max out my attention for one of my other themes, so that's good.
Dope.
I'm looking forward to that as well.
Cool. So, guys, that was something. That's what that was. Something indeed. That was Secret Pasts, the newest episode of 6&Twenty Metropolis here. So before we give out some accolades to our players here, 6&Twenty Metropolis is a partnered stream across Video Store Cowboy, myself, and Not So Speedruns. You can see it one on Tuesday at 8 p.m., this channel at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays, one on Thursday on Not So Speedruns at 8 p.m. We are 3 different crews, all in the same campaign world, all in the same city, all interacting with the same NPCs. So it's pretty crazy. Currently, we have a coupon code. If you guys want to buy the book, you guys can do that. It's coupon code 6&20fan, or you can enter to win a giveaway and see if you can win it. Test your luck. So yeah, while I type these things into chat, let's go around, introduce our characters, and get some ideas on what you guys thought about this. So we'll start with our resident Deadwalker, Miss Ginger Ninja. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of tonight's session?
Rude. I am Xmas Ginger Ninja. You can find me on everything at Xmas Ginger Ninja because I'm lazy. Tonight was very good. It was interesting. I like the development between the two of your characters, because he's stepping right into those daddy pants. You're doing great. I mean, he's saving you, but other than that, you're doing great.
I don't like daddy pants.
I had a backup plan if Malcolm didn't save us, so it was.
Does it not jump out the window?
Well, I can turn into a bird, so.
Spoilers.
Cocked up that spoiler.
With that, let's jump over to Greg. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of this episode?
Greg, Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. I liked it. I liked the revelations. I like to see the dynamics between all the characters and all that good stuff. Digging how the story's progressing. I think we actually got along a little bit tonight. Maybe did some investigating, and I thought that was neat.
We did some stuff.
We did some stuff. We had a lively Zoom chat, which I always like. Anywho, you can find me all over the internet as Grimjack21502. You can see me this Friday on D&D's channel for Learn by Play from 6 to 9, and on my own channel on Sundays from 7 to 9, Grimjack21502, doing a little Pulp Cthulhu action. And just this last Tuesday or last night and Tuesday again, WebDM, doing a little Spelljammer stuff. And that is from 7 to 10 on Tuesdays. So check that all out, but check out here because it's fun, and fun's where it's at.
That's true.
I'm just going to say, I'm fucking jealous about the Spelljammer thing. That's fucking awesome. That setting is so
good, yeah.
awesome. So, fuck you.
It is pretty dope. So let's jump over to the hero of the day. Sam, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
I am Sam, twitch.tv/WizandFool, Twitter @TheWizandFool. I had a great time tonight. I'm really worried about dying next session now, but I'm glad.
Who were you? But Thor worries you?
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be fine. I leveled up, which is cool, so that'll help hopefully not die. But yeah, I really liked that whole little thing with JP and Malcolm. That was really good. I'm excited to see if Malcolm and JP end up finding a dragon together. And I also really appreciated the vote of confidence from Gephardt to JP. That was really, that was a nice thing.
He handed down his daddy pants.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see where this goes, and hopefully things will go well. But I think we got probably more information towards this case tonight than we have in any other session, probably.
It's true. It's true. And last but not least, Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
Hey, I'm talking in chat. Leave me alone.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, okay. On Video Store Cowboy, everywhere except Twitch, or sorry, not Twitch. Everybody everywhere except Twitter, where it's Store Cowboy because their stupid character thing. GM for this crazy thing that we do, as Mike talked about earlier. I'm really impressed with how Malcolm handled the situation tonight in the investigation. He advanced the story in a way that I was not expecting. And
but it was completely Malcolm.
It was completely Malcolm, and it was really frustrating as fuck. I also love that we got to learn a little bit more about how Flora sees her true nature, her mythos, without her being completely aware of how she sees her true nature and mythos. The identity that's going on there. I mean, the way that was described, it could have been exploring your mythos as much as it could have been working the case. So I think it'll be interesting as that evolves into the conversation that you are expecting to have with the Dallas. I also found that JP was a little bit too much of a do-gooder, and it was kind of awesome. And the daddy pants thing, I don't ever want to hear the word daddy pants again. I'm just saying right now, no more daddy pants, please.
10 out of 10. So before we get the hell out of here, guys, I'll remind you that we'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. for Havoc in the Hinterlands. And this Saturday is our 12-hour charity stream, which Knox will be a part of. So definitely check that out. It is for Extra Life, and we're currently sitting at over $4,000 this year for charity. So we're trying to break at least $6,000. So let's try to hit that out of the park, which is going to be awesome. And again, we are doing a giveaway for City of Mist, so make sure you hit that giveaway link and do all those follows, retweets, all that kind of fun stuff. And we're going to go raid our friend McLoken, who's currently playing Chosen, which is, as he puts it, D&D meets Final Fantasy. So give him all of your hot, sticky raid love. And from all of us to you guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.